One knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Ukraine would be able to fight off.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
I think it's safe to say that outside of a hangover, most people probably don't think of alcohol as something that affects their brain after they sober up. But there's a sobering new study published in the prestigious medical journal Neurology, which found that consuming 8 or more alcoholic drinks per week increases the risk of brain lesions, something specifically called hyaline arteriosclerosis, which are linked to memory and thinking problems. 8 drinks a week, maybe that's not that much, right? Depending on your perspective. For years, the general guidance was no more than 2 drinks a day for men and no more than 1 for women. But now the growing consensus is less is better when it comes to alcohol. If you like to have a drink every now and then, it's probably okay. But I gotta tell you, I stopped drinking almost entirely in pursuit of better health, and I have never felt better. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800...
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Delays now in Westport southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike. Overnight construction work running now. Southbound on the Parkway are in great shape. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday, sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
The latest from around the corporate world. It's time for Fortune Business on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
What are safe jobs that don't require a college degree? Depends on what you mean by safe. I'm Jeff Colvin of Fortune magazine with the Fortune Business Update. A trend that's been building is young adults taking high-paying trade jobs that don't require a college degree. But some of those jobs can be dangerous. Commercial logging, hunting, and fishing have the highest on-the-job fatality rates. New research shows the safest job that doesn't require a college degree is office and admin support. But hold on, many employers are waiting and watching to see which jobs will be taken over as AI gets better every day. Companies including Intel, IBM, and Google have been freezing thousands of would-be new jobs that AI is expected to take over. And entry-level jobs like office admin ones are among the first to be slashed. They may not be safe at all. I'm Jeff Colvin.
The Johns Hopkins Health Minute, now on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
At Johns Hopkins, I'm Elizabeth Tracy. Many millions of people worldwide complain of insomnia, putting them at risk for poor health outcomes. Charlene Gamaldo, a sleep expert at Johns Hopkins, says while it is tempting to just turn to a medicine to help you sleep, that's not the best strategy.
The American Academy of Sleep Medicine, as well as American College of Physicians, do not see medications as first line. It is behavioral strategies. Sleep is so wonderful because you've got to talk to the patient and it's personalized for them because so many people with insomnia, but the way they got there is going to be unique to them. That's where talking to the patient, figuring out what are the factors in your life, in your environment, in your medication that is creating the situation where your sleep isn't as good as it can be.
Gamaldo notes that finding a sleep expert could start with the American Academy of Sleep Medicine or your primary care provider, so a comprehensive approach can be taken. At Johns Hopkins, I'm Elizabeth Tracy.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Wrapping up the overnight construction work in Milford, southbound on the Parkway. Better in Westport now on the Connecticut Turnpike. No problems on Route 8 north or south right now. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
The WICC 600 Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth's 18 and under prize provided by the Bridgeport Harbor Marina. Visit bluefishtournament.com.
If it's happening in Sono, Rowayton, or anywhere in Norwalk, it's on Melissa in the Morning. WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut. Melissa in the Morning chats with career strategist and workplace expert Julie Bauke. It's Julie on the Job, now on the voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9.
Oh, maybe this person didn't realize they hit the reply all button. Apparently, there was a new article talking about the return to office policies. And this is something that certainly many workplaces are facing right now. But AT&T's full-time RTO policy became kind of a sore subject for a lot of employees who recently made their feelings apparent in some employee feedback surveys. And instead of the feedback being met with kind of an empathetic or understanding tone, apparently the CEO, John Stankey, made it pretty clear to employees that you could either return to the office or you could go find another place to work. Julie Bauke, what do you think of that reply?
So let me read one of his statements. If a self-directed, virtual, or hybrid work schedule is essential for you to manage your career aspirations and life challenges, you will have a difficult time aligning your priorities with those of the company and the culture we aim to establish. There is nothing wrong with that statement. Okay? So, all right. So what we are seeing, and I can't remember what we talked about week to week, so we may have talked about this or not. You know, that's what happens when you have a boomer on as your career person. There are going to be different cultures that pop up at different companies. And then you, as an individual, get to decide which one of those cultures fits the life and career you want. Mm-hmm. And so what Jamie Dimon is saying, what this guy from AT&T is saying is, this is the kind of place where we're not going to reward, and he went on to say something like that. If you are expecting this, maybe we were loyalty-based in the past and tenure-based, but we're switching away from that to we're looking to build a workforce that is performance-based, that does not necessarily reward tenure unless your performance is strong. And, you know, we ain't your family. And that's, he didn't say that, but that's in essence what it is. This relationship is not a relationship. It is tactical. And what I mean by that is you work for 2 weeks, we pay you for that 2 weeks. If we both decide you should come back the following Monday. Yippee, we'll do another 2 weeks. And this is really hard for people to hear. And especially the older you are, younger people hear this and go, yeah, no duh. But older people hear this and say, oh my gosh, employee loyalty, corporate loyalty. I would argue that the reason we thought companies had loyalty is because in a lot of cases within promotions, they valued length of service, and then their pension programs also rewarded length of service. We've been slowly moving away from that for years, and we've finally arrived where some CEOs are coming out and saying the quiet part out loud.
Well, and I think, too, Julie, to your point, I think it's become controversial only because of what was discovered since the pandemic, which is that people can be very effective even if they're not in the office. Like, it's interesting. In this article, it says, while employees still reported a 79% commitment rate to the company, the CEO of AT&T noted that there was an overall drop in engagement at the organization. So you could say, hey, I'm still doing my job. I'm doing it effectively. What's the big deal? But maybe this CEO is saying, look, I'm not saying you're doing a bad job. What I am saying, though, is there's not as much camaraderie. I don't feel like this is the same kind of a company culture that I created it to be, or I was holding the standard to be that way. And I don't think we should be faulting people for that. You know, it's interesting because, working in radio, we did have during the pandemic, we did have I'd say a portion of time where some of our stations did have to go remote. And the reason they had to do that was because we really didn't understand how COVID really worked at that point and the spread and all of that. And so with that being said, when we all kind of came back, all the radio personalities came back, most of us, very quickly were like, oh my God, we hated that. We hated it. And what's funny about it is the reason we didn't like working out of the office and away at home, basically, was because we never could actually be our full selves that we are in the studios. And people like that heard us say that didn't really get it. They're like, what do you mean? Like, isn't it nice to do it in your PJs? Isn't it nice to know during your commercial breaks you go check on your dogs or your kids or, go have coffee with your husband? No. Actually, no, it wasn't. I felt like my show actually suffered when I went home. And to me, I do better in a culture where I can feed off of my the radio personalities here, the producers here. That's something that actually makes my job, quite frankly, more enjoyable than sitting in my home to do my job. So I think that we've almost overcorrected. If a CEO is saying, I want people back in the office, not because necessarily that you're doing a bad job at home, but this isn't what we signed up to be. This wasn't the culture we created this company to have.
Yes. And yes, it is not. So what I love about this, what we're saying here is that one size does not fit all. Mm-hmm. And so you're saying, hey, when we got to come back to the office, we were all happy. And I guarantee you there are people listening to us right now going, oh, gosh, that was the worst day of my life.
I'm sure. Right. I'm sure there are people, and not here at my station, but like you're out there in the world saying, yeah, well, we hated that we had to go back. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what we're saying is if the CEO, so there's a company here in Cincinnati that for years has had a very, very specific company culture, and they were very open about it. And they handed out a little book before you even interviewed or before you got to the second interview and said, read this, and if this sounds like a place you can thrive, great, let's keep talking. If it doesn't, let's all move on. And I really thought that was brilliant because they were it was a very specific culture, and it was very much not for everyone. So it's a great way from a recruiting and selection tool to attract people, to let them know that here's what we do, here's what we believe. If that's not for you, okay, carry on. And but this is who we're looking for. Think about how many cultural misfits would be avoided if companies were just really clear about here's who we are, here's what we expect. If you want to be promoted, that's not, and you want to work from home and you want to be promoted, in this culture, it may not work. I would much rather have that honesty from a company so that I can move on and focus my efforts on finding something that is a better fit. And I think that's where we're going to end up. You might say, okay, let's say you're a woman and you say, okay, I work for this I work for AT&T hard charging company. I'm now in the chapter of my life where I know that I want to be home and I know that I want to work hybrid, maybe, because I'm getting ready to start a family. So I might shift and go find a different type of opportunity, or if I'm valued at AT&T and I can work out some sort of negotiation, maybe slip off of the fast track onto something else until I'm ready to get back on the fast track again, which may be 3 years from now or maybe never. I think this is really hard for people to get their minds around, because so many of us have been raised in now that I have a corporate job, I'm going to be here until I'm
set for life, right?
And it's just not where we are anymore, and we're never going back to that. So the sooner you get really clear on what matters most to you right now in your career,
right,
and then try to find a place that fits with that, the happier everybody's going to be.
We've got Julie Bauke here, career strategist. And Julie, real quick, with this story about AT&T's CEO, I want to also make mention, though, that he didn't totally ignore the employees' concerns in this survey feedback. A lot of them, had indicated, hey, I kind of like working a hybrid model or working from home. And it seemed like he said, yeah, I hear your concerns. And that's why we've put together a lot of different programs to address things like your mental health and your personal versus professional kind of balance, correct? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So he definitely acknowledged, look, we care about your personal well-being. And toward that end, here's what we're doing instead. And so he mentioned things like very, very cutting-edge healthcare policies, time off policies, financial counseling, mental health benefits. He's saying, we understand that this is a different world, and here's what we're doing to address it. But what we're not doing to address it is letting you work wherever you want. And again, each of us get a decision. Does that work for me or does it not? Or probably most accurately, does it work for me right now where I am in my career? So what I continually remind people is our careers can be 40 years long. If we start right after, in our 20s and work till our 60s, you're going to have a variety of iterations, a variety of priorities and values that switch up. And so this model that says, I'm going to grind for 40 years is not realistic for most people anymore. And so you get to change your values and priorities when it comes to the kind of work you seek out. You're allowed to do that. And what I hope comes out of all this is companies who really are, just like he's being, very upfront with here's what our culture is. And I think it will help everybody, both sides of the desk. It'll help people make good choices depending on what's most important to them. And it'll help companies really slim down the hiring process by being clear about what it's like to work there, where you don't have to guess like we have in the past. And so this is a tough transition, but this is the way we're going to end up. We're going to end up with a variety of cultures, a variety of work styles, and you get to decide what works for you given where you are in your career.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I think, I'm glad that we can also look at the fact that, maybe on the surface, this seems like it's harsh. But when you really dive into it, is it, or are we sort of changing the way we look at, again, corporations saying, yeah, no, you've been here for a very long time. You're a lifer. And so we're going to adjust to you. Maybe it is important to them what the culture of their office space looks like, and that matters in their decisions. And also, they are still addressing, like in this example with AT&T, the things that you're concerned about. They are trying to also incorporate that in your experience at the workplace, but they're just not going to bend on you not being inside the building. So, Julie Bauke, I appreciate this example and diving into this for our chat today. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk next week.
All right. Looking forward to it.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Just about through clearing that Milford construction zone on the Parkway southbound. Also looking good on the Connecticut Turnpike right now. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid 90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid 90s. Friday sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all the fatherhoods first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has just arrived in Berlin ahead of a virtual call with President Trump and EU allies. Correspondent Jared Hill.
Today, President Donald Trump will hold a virtual meeting with Ukrainian and European leaders 2 days before his sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The president has deep respect for all parties that are involved in this conflict and are trying to bring this conflict to an end.
CBS News has learned the Trump-Putin meeting will happen Friday at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson on the northern edge of Anchorage, Alaska.
Hundreds of National Guard troops have reported for duty in Washington, D.C. on President Trump's orders to fight crime and reduce homelessness. Locals are weighing in.
Them coming here, I mean, that's a little too much. That's a little too much, you know. Some people might be scared or something, you know, but that's too much. But the crime, it's been slowing down lately.
Mayor Muriel Bowser's been citing data showing violent crime at its lowest level in 30 years. A federal judge in San Francisco has ordered the Trump administration to restore hundreds of frozen research grants to UCLA. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
The court has given the Trump administration about a week to come back and show how they've gotten the funds back to UCLA because it was improper and against the law to terminate those grants in the first place.
The administration froze more than $500 million in science, medical, and other grants, citing alleged discrimination in admissions and failure to promote a research environment free of anti-Semitism. It's been a dangerous week in the waters off East Coast beaches with Tropical Storm Erin stirring up strong rip currents. Correspondent Nikki Batiste is in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, where one person died after a group of 5 was rescued.
Long Branch, New Jersey, told us that 262 rescues were made just over the weekend. Belmar, New Jersey, 49 rescues. The police chief here told me just this weekend there were about 30 other rescues at this beach. And at New York City beaches, 160 rescues all summer.
Erin is now expected to become a major hurricane that could reach the U.S. Sometimes the dread of going to school is too much. CBS's Michael George explains.
A survey of parents by the Kids Mental Health Foundation found while the number one reason was being physically sick, nearly a third of parents say their child missed school due to fear or anxiety. Mental health reasons keeping kids from school included bullying, not fitting in, worrying about a test, or having to speak in public.
Dow futures up 99. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
WICC 600 and 95.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
And good morning at 6:04. News this morning. Police say they've made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stanford mosque. Cops saying 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police saying Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families inside. The state's attorney's office reviewing the case, deciding not to charge Slocum with violating any state hate crime laws. A motorcycle rider has died in a crash with a motor vehicle in Waterbury. Police say that crash happened around 5 p.m. yesterday at the intersection of East Main and Baldwin Streets. The adult male rider was rushed to a city hospital, but he was pronounced dead a short time after he got there. Driver of the car remained at the crash scene and was not injured. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a surgical clinic in the city of Stamford. Prosecutors saying 35-year-old Kristen Caratanuto of New York brought home vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say it does not appear any patients were treated with any of those tampered medications. A New York man avoiding further jail time in his sentence for making threatening and harassing communications to a resident of Connecticut. Prosecutors saying 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. Many of the messages, officials say, threatened to rape and kill the victim and their children. White has been detained since being arrested in November of 2023. It was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. The Milford Oyster Festival coming up this weekend. Scale back event, now an evening-only festival this Friday and Saturday, limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. And the Fairfield national team plays its first game in the Little League World Series tonight, of course, in Williamsport, PA. Fairfield National winning the Metro Regional title on Friday, earning a trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Legion champion, the region there, Lamar Little League of Richmond, Texas, 7 p.m. tonight. You can watch it on ESPN. We're brought to you this time around by the Connecticut Lottery. Now, play your favorite games at ctilottery.org. Odds vary by game. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 800-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Still some areas of overnight construction work. Stanford, Greenwich, southbound on the Parkway. Not really causing any kind of issues at all. We're looking good on the 25A connector and Route 8 too. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s, heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Safety, security, control, just some of the reasons to call Nick and his team at Property Protection Consulting. Hey, it's Melissa, and I use PPC for our doorbell cameras, smart thermostats, and surveillance cameras because they make my home and family feel safe and secure. Plus, everything is easy to operate. It's all on one app, and if something goes wrong, somebody from the team comes out right away. For security systems for your home or business, book a complimentary consultation with locally owned Property Protection Consulting at ppcalarms.com. Tell them Melissa sent you.
It's new, exciting, big, revolutionary. Huge changes to our service business model at Maritime Chevrolet in Fairfield. Filters, fluids, flushes, blades, bulbs, batteries, oil, tires, and wheels, even software updates, all at your home or office. Our mobile success team comes to you. So take it easy and let Maritime Service Plus handle the rest. World-class technicians and superior hospitality come standard at MaritimeChevy.com. That's MaritimeChevy.com.
A look at the news near your neighborhood. The Fairfield University Graduate and Professional Studies around the region. Now on Melissa in the Morning, WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning to you. How are you? 6:09, almost 6:10. It's Paul in for Melissa on the aforementioned Melissa in the Morning program. Open phones if you want to jump in here and say hello to one and all at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. But as Mr. Big Voice said there, let's start looking around the region, shall we? Fairfield national team plays Game 1 in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National winning the Metro Region Championship on Friday, earning a trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Regional Champion, Lamar Little League. They're out of Richmond, Texas. The game 7 p.m., set to be televised on ESPN. Also locally, the Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. Scale back event, now an evening-only festival. Friday and Saturday, limited to just Fowler Field, no longer extending all the way to downtown. In addition, of course, to all the oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items, too. Beer and wine being sold as well. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass. Sunday's headliner being Almost Queen. That's a big tribute group that performs the songs of the classic band Queen. To New Haven, the Elm City, the New Haven Board of Education adopting a new policy on the use of artificial intelligence in schools. The policy unveiled this week seeks to allow teachers and students to use AI for research and to generate classroom discussions, but not to directly plagiarize. The AI programs will be made available to teachers once they're trained and for students when a security monitoring system and program is in place. City school officials say the policy will enhance the entire school community, supporting both teachers and students. A man has died in a house fire in Cheshire. The fire reported early yesterday morning on Brookside Place, and an injured man was found inside by local first responders. They also learned that another man and a dog who were in the house were unaccounted for. The man was later found dead and has been ID'd by his mother as 32-year-old Zachary Namides. The cause of the fire not determined, and it remains under investigation. Woman has been arrested after police say she moved a bag holding a gun that had been thrown by a suspect in New Haven. An officer approached a man on a dirt bike at James and Woolsey Streets in the Fairhaven section of the Elm City on Monday night, and the suspect fled on foot. He, reportedly, police say, tossed a bag with a gun inside into a yard as he ran away. Police say Yolanda Narvaez Santiago moved it into a different yard. Narvaez Santiago was arrested and charged with multiple weapons offenses and interfering with police. Her bond set at $250,000. Some major vandalism has been reported at a cemetery in Meriden. Police were called to St. Patrick's Cemetery on Wall Street yesterday morning after the damage was discovered to headstones and monuments. Investigators say there were no tire tracks in the area. That indicates there were likely multiple suspects and they were on foot. The damage believed to have happened between Monday night and early yesterday morning, passed with the Saturday yesterday morning. A 1-year-old child has injuries after a dog attack in Windsor Locks. Police say the attack happened last night at a home on Dexter Road. A woman in the home said she noticed an issue with the dog's paw, and when she touched it, the dog attacked the child's head. The child taken to Connecticut Children's Medical Center, stable condition after getting stitches for head wounds there. The woman who was shot and killed by state police in the town of Basra, now ID'd as 39-year-old Amanda Williams. Police were called to a home on Gifford Lane Saturday. This on reports of a woman pointing a gun at a man during a dispute. Officers say Williams was shot after repeatedly refusing orders to drop the gun she was holding. She died from a gunshot wound to the neck. Her death has been ruled as a homicide. We continue with your look around the region here on Melissa in the Morning. A toddler hospitalized after a near drowning in a swimming pool at a Windsor Locks hotel. This happening yesterday afternoon at the Ramada by Wyndham Hartford North Hotel on South Center Street. Family members noticing that the 1-year-old child had fallen into the water. An emergency care was immediately given. The child reportedly conscious and stable before being taken to the hospital. A Plainfield couple arrested in connection with a child sex assault case. An investigation that began in June led to the arrest of 56-year-old David DeSimone. This on charges that include first and fourth-degree sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor. His wife, Holly DeSimone, also charged with conspiracy to commit risk of injury to a minor for allegedly being aware of the crimes and not taking any steps to protect the victim. Both are free after they posted bond. Motorcycle rider with serious head injuries is being treated after crashing into a large rock and a utility pole in the town of Willington. This happened Monday night. Route 32, 43-year-old man from Ashford ejected from the bike. Man was rushed to Hartford Hospital with serious injuries. No other victims involved in the crash. UConn says it'll eliminate 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn saying dozens of other programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to see if they should be shut down. Police making an arrest in connection with an incident outside a mosque in Stamford. Police saying 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday, charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police saying Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and ended up making derogatory statements to the families who were outside. A state's attorney's office review of the case finds that they decided not to charge Slocum with violating any hate crimes laws. And that's your look around the region right here. It's Paul and for Melissa on the world-famous, award-winning Melissa in the Morning program right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Turnpike southbound, some minor delays now as you head in through Bridgeport. No big issues until you get to Stamford again. A little slow just past 9. And right at this moment, the Parkway is a speed limit ride. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
There's $25,000 somewhere in Long Island Sound, and it could all be yours. The annual WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth is back for its 43rd year, the weekend of August 23rd and 24th. The heaviest bluefish caught that weekend is worth $25,000, and there's more than $40,000 in cash prizes. Sign up now at bluefishtournament.com or your local bait and tackle shop. The WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth. We'll see you on the Sound.
Thanks, Fine Fettle, The Water Doctor, and Bridgeport Harbor Marina.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
I'm Barbara from Trumbull, and I've used Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 2012, when he diagnosed the source of a carbon monoxide problem when no one else could. I use him for maintenance and emergency situations for that reason. He has always been able to fix any problem in my home. There's no one better than Steve Basso.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
Your new customers are listening to the Voice of Connecticut. Become an advertiser and grow your business. You'll reach thousands of Connecticut consumers. Email sales@voiceofct.com.
Looking for complete dental care in one convenient location? Visit Columbia Dental in Norwalk. Their expert team includes a general dentist, periodontist, and oral surgeon. So whether you need a routine checkup and cleaning, dental implants, or wisdom teeth extraction, they've got you covered. Quality care all under one roof. Call Columbia Dental in Norwalk today at 203-299-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Join WICC 600 and City of Bridgeport's Standard Oil and Propane Backpack Give Back at 999 Broad Street, Bridgeport this Saturday, 10 to 1. Thanks to Abriola Parkview Funeral Home.
Always live, always local, and always free. The voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9. Now, back to Melissa in the Morning.
Well, would you look at that? Yeah, all stretched out, all set to rock and roll this morning. How are you? Yeah, it's Melissa in the Morning, the award-winning, you know what you love it, the Melissa in the Morning program right here. WICC 600 AM, 95.9 FM, and, of course, online for all your streaming needs and streaming devices at voiceofct.com. This, you probably figured out, is not the aforementioned Ms. Sheketoff. It's your old pal from the afternoon, Paul Pacelli, sitting in here. So whatever's on your mind, if you want to chime in here with thoughts on an issue, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, or you'd like to text us as well, whatever's on your mind, you know the number. Same number. Yes, we did it that way to basically help me, because I don't grasp multiple phone numbers well. Just ask producer Eric. I've already been round and round with him this morning. Not his fault, mine. Hey, what's the phone number for this guy? And Eric says, well, get it, Ace. Oh, man. But 203-333-9422, WICC Talk or Text. And by the way, I know it's frightening to see me early this morning. I have cranked up the video stream. So, yeah, it's what happens. So for some godforsaken reason, if you want to actually watch me do the show and see me move around papers, adjust the microphone, stir my coffee, make hand gestures to Eric in the studio, you can check it out. Go to the WICC YouTube page, click on the circular logo where it says live, and that'll take you to henceforth the live feed. Also go to twitch.tv and search for WICC, and you'll see me in a resplendent blue T-shirt this morning. What do we have for you? Stop yapping, Paul. What do we have on the show? I'll tell you. Well, of course, Amy Linus, our fitness expert, coming up in just a bit. Want to ask Amy about something that's making it some waves. A TV star the other day said she was giving her small child, I think her daughter was 4 years old or something, giving her soda like Coca-Cola or something. She admitted she wanted to get her all hopped up, so she didn't have to deal. Eric's looking at me. She wanted to get her all hopped up so she didn't have to deal with jet lag. So. Eric shaking his head. Yes, Eric, it's a real story. I sent this to Melissa. We said, that's an Amy segment, yes. And she's getting a little flack. People are saying, hey, 4 years old, little young for soda. But, hey, you're listening to a kid who just, my God, did I love Coke growing up. Oh, my God. I don't remember how old I was, though. I was probably a little older than that. I don't know, probably 6 or 7 or something like that. So we will talk about that. Also, we'll talk to a local bait and tackle shop owner. Of course, we have the big WICC Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth. So we'll talk about being involved in that. Other really neat stuff coming up on the show today. We'll have a guest about spinal stenosis. We heard that 3rd District, New Haven area Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro at, I think Rosa's 82, still going strong. She underwent a procedure about that. So what is that? A lot of people have heard of spinal stenosis, but that's kind of where the what is that thing kicks in. So we will talk about that. We'll talk with somebody who was shepherding a documents exhibit here in the state and a whole lot more. Also, a guest that I've had on in the afternoon from time to time, Dr. Olena Lennon is going to be joining us. She is an international affairs instructor, crime and all that, at the University of New Haven. She is also of Ukrainian heritage, and she will be previewing what she thinks is going to happen or may possibly come out of this summit coming up day after tomorrow, Friday, with President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, whether or not this will be an exercise in futility or not, all right? Once again, phone number to jump on in here, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. My coffee is over here. You'll allow me a slug? Yeah, come on, let's all do our first slug together. Ready? Cup to... Eric's looking at me going, I have 3 days of this. Cup to the lips, kid. Here we go. Ready? There's something about that first. Now, of course, the entire cup of coffee is a wonderful thing. But there's just something about that first swig. Swig's one of those great words, too, because it sounds like what it is. Good swig there. There's just something about, Eric's still shaking his head. There's still something about that first swig of coffee. Man, Eric's going, good God, can Friday come quick enough? Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Some minor delays now southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, heading between Bridgeport and Fairfield. Also a little slow in Trumbull southbound on the Parkway. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
It's time to make an appointment to tour Forest Hills Milford, one of the newest luxury rental 55 and over communities in Connecticut. Step into a home where every detail is designed to offer ease and comfort. Forest Hills Milford's spacious, brand new luxury apartments include assigned garage parking with elevator access and use modern technologies to bring ease and comfort to everyday living. Nestled in the beauty of Milford, close to beaches, golf, marinas, and more. Visit foresthillsmilford.info to learn more. Forest Hills Milford, home made easy.
Discover the freedom of the open water with ConnecticutVotingCertificates.com. Their comprehensive online classes make it easy and convenient for you to earn your Connecticut voting certificate from the comfort of your home. With expert instructors, flexible scheduling, and up-to-date courses, you'll gain the knowledge and skills needed to operate safely and confidently. Embark on your voting adventures today and enjoy the thrill of the waves with confidence. Enroll now and begin your family adventure today.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Claire. She loves her motorcycle, and she's learned to love the insects she encounters on her rides. She may not know the difference between a gnat and a mosquito at 55 miles per hour, but she does know one thing. It's always gross when one flies into her mouth. But she's so used to it that it's weird when it doesn't happen. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back with comprehensive and collision coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Friday's meeting between Presidents Trump and Putin is a good chance to gauge Putin's intentions.
The President of the United States getting in the room with the President of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
CBS's Scott McFarlane is looking into the possibility the Pentagon is planning National Guard deployments in multiple cities.
There's a report in Washington that there was under consideration a quick response force, 2 of them in the country, to quell civil unrest elsewhere in the nation. The Pentagon's pushing back on that, calling it pre-decisional and saying they're not going to comment.
Tropical storm Erin is churning in the Atlantic, and CBS's Nikki Batiste says it may add to the East Coast riptide danger.
This tropical storm that's looming and could come later this week could pose dangers to any beachgoers along this eastern coast. So everyone needs to be cautious, pay attention to the weather.
CBS News Brief, I'm Michael Toscano.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut local news update.
Police making an arrest in connection with an incident outside a mosque in the city of Stamford as we get up and underway this morning. Police saying 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday, charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police saying Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and then made some derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office, however, reviewing the case and deciding not to charge Slocum with violating any state crime, hate crime laws. A motorcycle rider has died in a crash with a motor vehicle in the city of Waterbury. Cops saying the crash happened at around 5 p.m. yesterday at the intersection of Baldwin and East Main Streets in the Brass City. The adult male rider rushed to a city hospital, pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The driver of the car involved in the crash, police said, remained at the scene and was not injured. Former nurse sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stamford surgical clinic. Prosecutors saying 35-year-old Kristen Caratenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline solution back in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say it does not appear, though, that any other patients were treated with those tampered medications. New York man is avoiding further jail time in his sentence for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors saying 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails as well. Many of the messages, police say, threatened to rape and kill the victim and their children. White detained since being arrested in November of 2023. He was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. UConn eliminating 7 different academic programs that the school says have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials saying dozens of other major programs will also come under the microscope in the coming academic year to determine if they should be shut down. The programs being shut down permanently include obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as UConn is working to address a projected budget deficit coming in at least $100 million. The Fairfield national team plays Game 1 in the Little League World Series coming up tonight, of course, in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National winning the Metro Region Championship on Friday and earning a trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays a team from Lamar Little League in Richmond, Texas. They were the Southwest Regional Champion. You want to check that out. Again, Fairfield Little League World Series Club playing tonight, 7 p.m., and that'll be televised on ESPN. That time of the year, the Milford Oyster Festival is this coming weekend. Scale-back event now, an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It's limited also to Fowler Field in Middletown. It will not extend to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items, along with beer and wine being sold. Headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass on Friday, and Saturday the headliner is Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs, not surprisingly, the songs of the band Queen. So once again, that's the Milford Oyster Festival coming up this weekend. That's your look at news this time round. We are brought to you by Spectre Furniture. Hey, stay cool and get comfortable with Spectre Furniture and Mattress Gallery, trusted for 135 years to bring you comfort and style. Check them out, SpectreFurniture.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Seeing delays on the Connecticut Turnpike southbound out of Bridgeport towards the Fairfield Rest area. Starting to see some more volume now approaching exit 17 in Saugatuck. Parkway South, stop and go. Trumbull into the Fairfield Rest. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Who picks Post University? People who pick Post are people who believe in themselves and their potential. Post people want a school that helps them succeed on their terms, on their budget, and on their schedule. They want on-campus activities and online flexibility. Most of all, they want an education that could help prepare them for success in over 50 fields. Because when you're an Eagle, the sky's the limit. Are you a Post person? Find out now at post.edu.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
The latest from Washington, Hartford, and from all over Fairfield County. Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
Yes, Paula for Melissa on the world-famous, award-winning Melissa in the Morning program right here at 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Up and underway here, 72 degrees. Paul Piorek says we're heading for a high in the upper 90s today. Another hot and sticky day, so be careful when you're out there. Fitness time. Our fitness expert, Amy Linus, joins us. Of course, the website, Amy Linus, AMYLLINAS, AmyLinus.com. Amy, good morning. Paul here. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Paul. It's so nice to check in with you this morning. How's everything going?
I'm trying to be good, Amy, cutting way down on my carbs, doing brown carbs, and doing my 1 hour of walking a night. So I'm trying to be good. I'm trying.
I am so proud of you. So happy to hear that, Paul. Awesome.
Yeah, one of my crutches, though, Amy, over the years, I was just talking about this with Eric, our producer, I'm trying to wean myself away from it a little bit. I love soda. Ever since I was a little kid, oh my God, when I used to have Coke and Diet Coke, I was in heaven. And the reason I wanted to talk with you about this today was there was somebody, Amy, who I think is a reality star, from some reality show, and she's catching all kind of guff, I should say, because she said, hey, I know I'm giving my 4-year-old daughter some Coke here, but we want to avoid, jet lag when we travel. So, Amy, I know sodas intrinsically are just a comfort food in some way, but what's the age here? What should we look at for kids who maybe it's not Coke, but whatever, like, Mommy, I want some soda? Well, when do we do this?
Well, yeah, so the Academy of Pediatrics advises against any sugary drinks like that for toddlers, before the age of 2. So not too crazy there. Keep your kids off of the soda before the age of 2. And then, slowly introduce it at the age of 5, kind of like what that reality star was doing to prevent that jet lag. A little bit here and there is okay. Moderation is going to be key. I mean, the main concern is all the sugar and all the caffeine and all that. The caffeination can become addicting. And the sugar can wear down teeth enamel, that kind of a thing. So that's the main concern there. But in moderation, we're going to be okay. But she did get fired away for that.
Yeah, and you talk about the caffeine, but I used to go to a nutritionist, and I've lost almost 100 pounds over the past 15, 20 years. Yeah, and the nutritionist used to have a display on her desk where she had basic items like a candy bar or crackers, and then she had soda, and she had test tubes there with how much sugar. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I have one of those. Isn't that alarming?
Oh, how much sugar is in one can of regular soda? And I just looked there and I said, wow. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think people
mean,
I don't think people realize how much sugar they're taking in, Amy.
No, not at all. And to your point, I mean, you cutting that out or cutting those down completely would definitely decrease weight on you pretty significantly, because all that sugar and having that constantly throughout the day just spikes blood sugar and insulin levels. And then you're looking in the face of, I might have type 2 diabetes now because I've had all this sugar for so long, and there's no lag time. So we don't ever have a chance to burn through all that. So then what happens? We store it as body fat. So you are exactly right. Limiting those sodas and filling in the gaps with a little bit of something else that's carbonated, like seltzer water, flavored seltzer water, that will help get through that, because I know some people just like that carbonation and just need that carbonation. So there's that too.
I love that feeling of the carbonated soda.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's just something about it, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, but on a hot summer day, there is just nothing better than an ice cold Coca-Cola. I just have to admit that myself.
I'm telling you.
Here, I'm telling you. Yes.
And finally, Amy, you got to watch those sports drinks too, and all the other stuff that's supposed to be healthy. And I tell people all the time, from somebody who's dealing with diabetes, read the label. Look at the sugars.
Yes, it's the sugar. The sugar is the culprit, because it spikes, like I said, those insulin levels, and it keeps that instability going throughout the day. And we want to keep those insulin levels nice and stable as the day progresses. And then you don't have those blood sugar spikes either, so you're not feeling like hypoglycemic and shaky like you need the sugar again. But that's the battle. It's to kind of decrease it, get used to not having it present, and then you start to see those changes come about. It's tough. It's not easy at first, you know, because you've been through it.
Yeah. And finally, Amy, for somebody who's working out, say pre-workout, during the workout, post-workout, I always see stuff, drink this while you're working out and recover with that. I mean, what's generally for your clients and what you do when you get ready maybe to compete? What are your hydration rules? What do you like to use at what point?
So I'm really big on water. I'm really big on water. Yeah. And then you can also get some electrolyte packets that are very low in sugar to kind of help replenish and rebalance those minerals that you lose when you're excessively sweating, and then also to rebuild those electrolytes as you deplete those throughout the workout from sweating. So those are the things that I would stick to. Obviously, if you went a little bit too hard and your blood sugar plummets completely, then yes, supplement with something like a Gatorade or something to boost that blood sugar right back up.
Amy Linus, AMYLLINAS, AmyLinus.com, our fitness expert, fitness coach. Check out the website for Amy's tips and services and all that. Amy, good to speak with you. We'll speak down the road. Thank you, ma'am.
You too, Paul. Have a wonderful morning.
Appreciate it. Amy Linus there. Once again, check out her website. Doesn't cost anything to do that. AMYLLIN as in Nancy, A-S. Amy Linus here. Yeah, when I was first diagnosed as a diabetic back in 2008, got a lot of help from a nutritionist, lost a boatload of weight. Now we're kind of chipping away at the weight, getting down there where I want to be. And she had this display on her desk. And it was a very simple display. I think it had like an empty Coke can. It had like a Snickers bar, package of crackers, and maybe a piece of candy or two. And there were, behind those items, test tubes of how much sugar. And I got nothing against sugar. We all have a sweet tooth. Hey, I like me some ice cream sometimes. You can't deny yourself everything. But, and to see a lab-sized test tube virtually full here with sugar. And I said, is that in every can of Coke? She said, yep. And I've known, and we all know them, and maybe some of you folks fall prey to it too. I know people who drink, now, Diet Coke, I still gravitate to. They got the no sugar Coke. But you get people I know that drink 4 or 5 cans of regular Coke a day. My God. Whew. I know it tastes good. I know the carbonation is right there where you want it, but man, oh man. All right, traffic and weather together and more. It's Paul and for Melissa. Melissa in the morning right here, yes, on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Connecticut Turnpike southbound now, some volume around 27A in Bridgeport, heading into Southport. Slow in Stamford just past exit 9. Got delays southbound on the Parkway. Trumbull through the Fairfield Rest area now as you head into Westport. More Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. Another hot and humid day on the way. Yesterday at Bridgeport, we hit a high of 88. We have yet to hit 90 this month. So we'll be there, hopefully, well, I don't say hopefully, but maybe later this afternoon we'll hit 90. But yesterday's high was 88. We have yet to hit 90 this month. We have a dew point right now, 71. The first time this month we have had a dew point of 70 or better. And we have had no rain, not a drop of rain since August 1st. So we have gone a dozen days now without any rain. Right now it is clear. The sun is rising. It is 75 degrees in Bridgeport. You will notice a lot warmer and milder and more humid early this morning than any day this week. It is 75. Our dew point is 71. Our barometer 2993 on the way down, and we do have a light wind out of the southwest at about 5. Sunny skies through midday, partly sunny later this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90, and the humidity will be on. Now, there may be a shower or thunderstorm, isolated in nature later this afternoon. An evening shower or thunderstorm, otherwise a mild and humid night. We'll have a low in the low 70s. Tomorrow, a better risk of showers or thunderstorms moving in during the afternoon. We have a front moving in from the north and west. We'll have an afternoon high in the upper 80s. Any showers end by midnight tomorrow night, and then another great weekend on the way. Friday, sunny, less humid, and not nearly as hot with a high in the mid-80s. Saturday, sunny with a high in the mid-80s, and Sunday, sunny with a high of 90, and more sun through the middle of next week. Right now it is 75. Our dew point finally hitting the 70 this month. We have a dew point of 71. We'll be in the upper 80s to near 90 later this afternoon, and there may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. If you use propane to heat your home, now is the right time to sign up for automatic delivery and our award-winning service. We deliver propane for heating your home, propane for your cooktop, propane for your pool heater, and propane for your generator. We can even install a new propane fireplace in time for the holiday festivities. Most importantly, our technicians work 24/7 to provide you with the absolute best service possible. So for all your heating oil, air conditioning, and propane needs, call Standard Oil today or visit us online at standardoil.com.
The following message is brought to you by the Fairfield Law Offices of Estate, Trust, and Probate Attorneys Eliafson and Tenor, online at ConnecticutElderLaw.com. Here is attorney Christine Tenor.
If you are suddenly hurt or seriously ill and can't speak for yourself, what could happen to you and your family and all you care about? Will life-changing decisions be made by strangers? We all face legal, financial, and physical challenges every day at all stages of life. Don't leave important matters to chance. Don't wait until you are elderly. No one can predict what the future holds for us. So even young adults and young couples, everyone, should be prepared for the unexpected. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, the gift of peace of mind.
Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. Eliafson and Tenor, 203-336-2566. Protecting your family's future. Eliafson and Tenor. For peace of mind, 203-336-2566.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
Hey, it's Paul in for Melissa. Paul Caselli here. Yeah, that guy. The guy that's usually out in the afternoon. I promise to play nice today, tomorrow, and Friday. Want to jump in here, talk or text? The same number. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. And, yeah, it's coming up in just a few days, that time of the year. Once again, love this time of the year. The Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth, Saturday, August 23rd, Sunday, August 24th, all over Long Island Sound. Heaviest catch wins $25,000, but you add in all the other great prizes, and it comes out to about $40,000. So how about that? And we affiliate and put on this tournament with a lot of great bait and tackle shops all over Fairfield, New Haven counties, out east, on Long Island as well. And joining us right now is the co-owner of Black Rock Bait and Tackle in Bridgeport on Fairfield Avenue. Ryan King is with us. Hey, Ryan, good morning. How are you?
Good. How you doing this morning?
Good, Ryan. And it's getting about that time. It's Bluefish Tournament again, and I would imagine you've got guys and gals coming in there, getting all ready. How do you prep for a tournament like this? This tournament or any other, when serious fisher men and women want to compete in something like this, what do you see them coming in and doing?
We get a lot of guys and just people in general coming in asking for information. As we know, we all have jobs, we all work, and we try to find time to fish when we can, but we can't always find the time. So stop in, a lot of people stop into their local tackle shops, ask questions on where the bite has been, what's been around, what's been working, the general where should I go, what should I use questions.
Mm-hmm. What, and I'm glad you said what's been working, where the bite is. So do those things, Ryan, change on a year-to-year basis with bluefish and other strains of fish, or are they constant, or is it a challenge to figure it out for tournaments like this?
It does kind of vary year to year, and normally that's not as much on a tactics end of it as like what you're going to use to catch the fish. Locations are what change, and what's around in the sound, size-wise, location, all that is what changes.
What about like weather up to and leading to, say, the Bluefish Tournament or tournaments like this? I've heard from serious fishermen saying, well, if it's rainy, it's one thing. If it's been a dry spell, it's another thing, because then the bait won't multiply. Anything to do with weather leading up to it or not?
Wind plays a big factor in that.
Yeah.
And that's more pertaining to how the water conditions are going to be while you're out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
We normally try to stay away from east wind. That's mainly just because of it can get really choppy out on the sound on east wind.
Mm-hmm. So do rough seas make it more, I mean, from a physical point of view, obviously, but does a rough or windy condition, does that make the fish, Ryan King, do different stuff behaviorally or not?
Not really. What'll happen is it just makes it a little bit more uncomfortable to fish sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's ways to mitigate that. If it's really choppy, anchoring up in a spot would be better than trolling into it and blasting the nose of the boat into the wind constantly.
Yeah.
And getting beaten up all day.
So a lot of people who may be thinking, Ryan, of doing this, my guess is probably, because I fished a little with my son in his Cub Scout and Boy Scout days, my guess is they probably ask you, hey, Ryan, what do I use for bait, and what pound test line do I use? So can you enlighten us on that a little?
Yeah, bait-wise, there's a lot of different bait you can use for bluefish. Mackerel works great. Bunker is a fantastic bait for them. Butterfish work really well. Gear-wise, that kind of depends on what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use cut bait, if you're going to anchor up and chunk, that's what we call using cut bait as chunking for bluefish, then normally we tend to tell people to lean more towards anywhere from a 30 to a 50-pound line, whether that be monofilament or braid. Well, especially for a tournament, you don't want to run the risk of breaking off on a fish.
Yeah.
When you have $25,000 on the line, we're not trying to be the light tackle anglers when that's the situation, And then, I tend to tell people to go a little bit heavier on their line strength if they're going to be trolling. Just because you have the boat in gear, you're moving, the shock of a fish hitting that lure as you're in gear and moving puts a little bit more tension on the line, so you want to go with a higher test break strength on your line for doing that.
Hey, Ryan, why do people fish? Is it the solitude, as so many people have told me? Is it the together time? Is it the camaraderie? Is it all of the above? Why do people do that?
One.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going fishing by yourself, you get peace and quiet. You can kind of disconnect with everything.
Yeah.
Kind of like a small therapy session. If you're with family, it's all about making memories, or if you're with your friends, it's all about making memories.
Nice. Who's the, I don't need a name, but what's the oldest regular fisherman or woman that you have maybe coming into your shop? Who's been at it a long time?
We have several customers that are in their late 80s, early 90s that still getting out there on the water, and God bless them,
Yeah. Ryan, thank you. Ryan King joining us, Black Rock Bait and Tackle. Go check them out. They're at 3309 Fairfield Avenue in Bridgeport. And, of course, they participate, and we thank them for helping us out with the greatest bluefish tournament on Earth. Coming up in just a few days. Hey, Ryan, thanks. Good to chat with you, man. Good luck, and we'll chat down the road.
All right, and good luck to everybody out there.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Ryan King, once again, Black Rock Bait and Tackle, 3309 Fairfield Avenue in Bridgeport. Good stuff there. All right, that's coming up. By the way, we should tell you August 23rd and 24th, the Surfside Hotel, greatest bluefish tournament on Earth. We take a break. We come back. News time on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Slow ride on the turnpike now from Bridgeport's 27A, heading right into the Fairfield Rest area, and more volume now approaching Westport, Sherwood Island, and a little bit of a heavier ride in Stamford near Exit 9. Parkway South, stop and go Trumbull to Fairfield, and Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Town Fair Tires, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer with over 100 locations. So we sell Michelin tires for the guaranteed lowest price. Like Michelin tires with all-season capabilities and maximum performance. Plus, Town Fair will give you more free services for life on your Michelin tires for longer tread life and reliable traction in both wet and dry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
You're listening to WICC. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has a virtual meeting with foreign leaders today ahead of Friday's summit with Vladimir Putin in Alaska.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Frantic 11th hour phone calls underway on this side of the Atlantic. European leaders talking among themselves and with Ukraine's President Zelensky ahead of an online call with President Trump later today. They're hoping to persuade Trump to side with Ukraine at Friday's summit. They're also expected to repeat their assertion that no decisions on Ukraine's future or its borders can be taken without Ukraine at the table.
The German government says Zelensky arrived in Berlin about an hour and a half ago. Some Washington, D.C. locals are scratching their heads as hundreds of National Guard troops take up positions next to local police on district streets on orders from President Trump.
I would understand if things was going haywire or hectic, but there's no need for him to be doing what he's doing.
The president says it's about curbing what he calls rampant crime, despite numbers that show it's actually near its lowest levels in 30 years. A town in Tennessee has agreed to turn a former prison into an immigration detention facility, and not everyone's happy about it.
The Board of Aldermen in Mason, population 1,300, approved the idea over the objections of angry audience members at their meeting. Mayor Eddie Naaman shouted them down.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Merry Christmas.
He says reopening the prison will create 240 jobs.
I'm not understand why people are against it. You know, it's not human right. We don't have nothing to do with it.
Angry residents fired back.
There's got to be better jobs than that. Are you telling me these are the jobs that you want for your kids?
2,100 people have already applied for the jobs. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Tropical storm Erin is stirring up dangerous rip currents along the East Coast as the system powers out in the Atlantic powers up. CBS News meteorologist Tony Sadiku is keeping an eye on the forecast.
This storm is going to move into an environment that's going to be more favorable, warmer waters in the days ahead, and that's why we expect more strengthening with time, likely becoming a hurricane later this week as it passes just north of the eastern Caribbean islands, north of Puerto Rico.
5 people in New Jersey had to be rescued when they were swept away in a rip current off Seaside Heights. One man later died. Beyonce is halfway to an EGOT. She's won her first Emmy for the costumes in last year's Netflix special Beyonce Bowl. She already has 35 Grammys, so she still needs a Tony and an Oscar to become a rare EGOT winner. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port, and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Police have made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stamford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police say Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. A New York man is avoiding further jail time and is sentenced for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. Many of the messages threatened to rape and kill the victim and their children. White had been detained since being arrested in November of 2023 and was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. UConn has eliminated 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials say dozens of other major programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to determine if any others should be closed. The programs were shut down permanently, including obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as UConn workers address a projected budget deficit of $100 million. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stanford surgical clinic. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Kristen Caro-Tenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say that does not appear that any patients were treated with the tampered medications. Sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Connecticut and elsewhere are recalled due to potential contamination. The Favorite Day cookie frosted sugar cookies may contain wood. The expiration dates on the packages vary, and the recalled cookies were sold in packages of 10. The Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National won the Metro Region Championship on Friday to earn the trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas, and the game is set at 7 p.m. It will be televised on ESPN. The last team from Connecticut to win the Little League World Series was Trumbull in 1989. The Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. The scaled-back event is now an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It is limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items along with beer and wine. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass, with Saturday's headliner being Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs songs from the band Queen. I'm Laura Feist, WICC News.
Thank you, Laura. Brought to you this time around by our friends at Spectre Furniture. Hey, stay cool and get comfortable with Spectre Furniture and Mattress Gallery, trusted for 135 years to bring you comfort and style. Check them out. Go online, spectrefurniture.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Slow ride on the turnpike now from Bridgeport's 27A, heading right into the Fairfield Rest area, and more volume now approaching Westport, Sherwood Island, and a little bit of a heavier ride in Stamford near exit 9. Parkway South, stop and go Trumbull to Fairfield, and Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
At Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull, we understand that planning for life's milestones is important. But what about planning for your funeral? While it may be difficult to consider, pre-planning can ease the burden on your loved ones during a challenging time. By planning now, you can ensure that your wishes are honored without leaving emotional or financial strain on your family. Visit abriola.com to learn more about our compassionate pre-planning services. Plan today for peace of mind tomorrow.
Experience the future of luxury with the all-new electric Escalade IQ, now available at Cadillac of Greenwich. Standard with hands-free driver assistance technology, the Escalade IQ offers undeniable style and uncompromising comfort with the longest range of any EV SUV. Arrive in style with this pinnacle of modern automotive excellence. Visit CadillacofGreenwich.com today and elevate your driving experience with the iconic Cadillac Electric Escalade IQ. Iconic moments drive superior hospitality at Cadillac of Greenwich. Let's take the Cadillac.
This is where Bridgeport starts the day. Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We are up and underway here on this Wednesday, middle of the week, August the 13th, 2025, right here on the award-winning, you know what you love it, the Melissa in the Morning program, calling for Melissa today, tomorrow, and on Thursday, if they'll have me for 3 straight days. Want to check in here? Phone lines are open. Text line is open as well. You can do voice to text or type it out. Send it to the same line that you talk to us on, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Any of you folks out there take the bus on a regular basis? CT Transit, marking a half-century of service. They're going to build 750 new shelters, says here in the Connecticut News Junkie, and they will bring online 80 battery-powered buses. I'm all for the shelters. The battery buses, well, you know, okay, whatever. There was that bus that pretty much burst into flames in Hamden what was that, last year, the year before, something like that? Hey, you get this battery technology. It is what it is. But yeah, happy birthday to the bus company. CT Transit, 50 years old. And I guess they and I said to myself, but wait a minute. I remember taking the bus before, previous to 50 years here. And I had forgotten that the bus company, what we now know as CT Transit, was a private company. Remember that? I guess it was called the Connecticut Company, right? I can't remember the last time I took a bus. Like, I can remember, and please, I'm not saying this in any way, shape, or form to denigrate anybody who takes a bus. Lord knows we need the bus service. In fact, I'm one of those people who, and I talk about this on the afternoon show from time to time, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, by the way. I don't think having free bus service is a bad thing. I know it's been talked about in other cities. I guess Kansas City is doing it. There are other cities experimenting with it. And now, listen, it's free to the riders. I get it. I understand it. But somebody has to pay for it. So, no, I'm not that much of a dope where, well, geez, Paul, somebody has to pay for something when it's free. No, I get that. I understand that. So when we say, free bus service, we should say free to the patrons or the riders. It's not free to taxpayers. It ain't free to those who have to pick up the bill. But remember, during COVID, the buses were free. And that ran out, about a year and a half, 2 years ago? I don't know. I think that might be, look, you know me, if you listen to me in the afternoon, I'm very cautious as to what tax money gets spent on what, the allocation of such. But, listen, and yes, it would, I forgot what the dollar figure was actually during COVID, what the budget line was, or how much of that federal COVID money was used to, pay for that. But I don't know. I think that, maybe a reduced fare. I don't even know. What does it cost to ride the bus anymore? All I know is I remember as a way younger person climbing up the stairs on the bus, putting my, what was it, 35 cents or a quarter? Yes, I'm an old guy. And then you remember, what did you ask the bus driver for? A paper transfer. Remember that? Oh, God, am I old. Do they still? I don't even know how it works anymore. I mean, if I got on the bus today, if I chose to patronize CT Transit, I'd be confused. I'd be a lost little boy. Hello, sir. How do I ride the bus today? Well, son, it's $5. What? I have no idea. Oh, man. Hold on. Let's do this in real time. CT Transit fares. There it is. All right. What's it cost? CT Transit fares for, this is called real-time show prep, by the way. Fares for the bus. How's that? How much is a CT Transit bus fare? $1.75. Wow, look at that. Here it is. Well, God bless the bus company. Somebody has to pay. A 2-hour pass, a single fare, is now $1.75. An all-day pass, if you want to go nuts on the bus, and don't go nuts on the bus, you know what I mean? But if you just want to, I did that on the cable cars once in San Francisco, years ago, when you could still go to San Francisco and not be accosted by a nut on the street. My wife at the time, she was in corporate meetings, and I rode the San Francisco trolleys all day. All right, so there you go. Local fares, $1.75 for 2 big hours of fun. That's me saying it, not not the CT Transit site. An all-day pass, which you can buy on the bus. You have to press the all-day pass button. It's $350. Interesting. All right, so there you go. God, I think I can see the fare. You know, it's like dropping it into a bubblegum machine, like the glass thing, and it got sucked down there. And the bus drivers had that change thing. They would give you some change. They give you, the dirty eye, the malocchio there, if you needed change. And, and the paper transfers, right? How about that? Yeah, for us old guys. Traffic and weather together. And the buses maybe on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Volume now starting to kick in a little bit. Southbound Route 8, Commodore Hall Bridge area, Shelton. Stop and go on the Turnpike, Bridgeport, Fairfield, Westport, in through Norwalk. Slower in Stamford, too. Got delays southbound on the Parkway coming out of Trumbull and heading into the Fairfield Rest. Some volume building too past Norwalk, right around the Main Avenue exit. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning, everybody. And no, I don't like to use the term old guys. How about seasoned or of a certain vintage? Better, right? Right. Good morning, everybody. The sun is up, and we've got another hot and humid day on the way. It'll be in the upper 80s to near 90 later this afternoon. Yesterday's high was 88 at Bridgeport. We finally have a dew point of 70 or better for the first time this month. It is 71 right now. We had no rain yesterday. We have now gone a dozen days without a drop of rain. There may be a shower later this afternoon, but a better risk of showers or thunderstorms moving in tomorrow with a front. Currently, it is 75 in Bridgeport. We're at 74 right now in Derby along Route 8, 75 in Greenwich by the Gateway to New England. It is 75 in Milford and 73 in Danbury. The barometer, 2,993 on the way down. We do have a light wind right now to the southwest at about 7. Another hot day, sunny, humid. We'll be nearing 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Air quality alert inland north of the Merritt for northern Fairfield and New Haven later this afternoon. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm late as well. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening with fog moving in after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night. We'll be in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly sunny and hot, upper 80s, a better risk of showers and thunderstorms moving in later in the afternoon and during the evening. And then by Friday, behind the front, we'll enjoy a good deal of the sun. There will be a generous breeze out of the northwest, ushering in drier air. It'll be in the mid-80s, so not nearly as humid and not nearly as hot. And then a summer-like weekend on the way, another good weekend under a lot of the sun. Saturday in the mid-80s, Sunday in the upper 80s, and Monday more sun with a high in the upper 80s. Right now it is sunny outside. It's already very warm and humid. It is in the mid-70s. Our dew point up to 71, so you'll feel and wear the air early this morning. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
There's $25,000 somewhere in Long Island Sound, and it could all be yours. The annual WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth is back for its 43rd year, the weekend of August 23rd and 24th. The heaviest bluefish caught that weekend is worth $25,000, and there's more than $40,000 in cash prizes. Sign up now at bluefishtournament.com or your local bait and tackle shop. The WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth. We'll see you on the Sound.
Thanks, Tri-City Home Solutions and Rinnai and Xfinity.
Yeah, it's summer, but a new high school sports season is coming soon. For the most in-depth coverage of FCAC high school sports, subscribe to the Rudin Report at therudinreport.com, powered by the new Genesis of Ridgefield, located in Norwalk.
It's time to protect your business with PPC Alarms Commercial Security Systems. PPC Alarms designs and installs customized security systems, including surveillance cameras, motion detectors, fire and water detection systems, license plate recognition cameras, and fleet management systems. PPC's customizable systems provide unmatched protection tailored to your company's needs, ensuring your business is always secure. Protect your business. Go to ppcalarms.com and get a complimentary evaluation.
Need metal? Metal Supermarket's got metal. Big or small. No minimum order. Cut and ready fast while you wait or call for delivery. Check out the new store in Bridgeport today at 1085 Connecticut Avenue, where we cut, bend, and shape any size of metal with no minimum order.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
From Greens Farms to Campo Beach, Westport listens to Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
With old guys on the bus. I'm kidding. Oh, man. But I seriously, I was thinking, I'm trying to, rewind my life here. Going, I can see myself on the bus, but it had to be. And we're talking, I am here because it's CT Transit's 50th anniversary. Good for them. Prior to that, I didn't realize all the buses I grew up on was a privately run company, the Connecticut Company. Remember that? Yeah. I think the last time I rode a municipal bus, probably maybe my car was getting serviced when I was in college or maybe just out of college, but that's cool. All right. 20, and God bless those bus drivers. I don't care whatever kind of bus you drive, tourist bus, private bus, municipal bus, whatever, team buses. I've been on, one of my broadcasting days, I've been on a lot of team buses in some pretty bad weather. And when you get to the hotel and you're getting off the bus in upstate New York, when you're going to Cornell or St. Lawrence or Clarkson and you can't see 2 feet out the bus window, you tap your driver on the shoulder and say, sleep well in the hotel. Oh, man. 20, but happy birthday to the CT Transit folk, all the fine men and women there. Bill in Bridgeport joins us this morning with a thought or two. Bill, what have you been witnessing as far as the birds, my friend?
Well, I saw an eagle get taken by a shark yesterday in Seaside Park.
A shark took an eagle. Now, why was the eagle close enough to the shark, Bill, to do that?
It was going after a fish, and as it was going in, the shark came up, grabbed, took it right down.
Nice.
And there's no birds in the water because there's shark. Everybody's out there fishing, and there's nothing there because there's no fish because of the sharks.
How big was this shark? Would you venture, Bill?
Well, it's about a good 1.5 feet out of the water that I saw.
Okay. All right. You staying out of the water?
I don't go in the water down there.
I don't go.
And you had these crazy people. They walk out on the sandbar from the land to the breakwater when it's waist high.
Yeah, I know.
They don't realize they can get nailed by a shark.
I know. A smaller shark, they can. Bill, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bill, if Bill calls the afternoon show, he's one of my nature correspondents. Lets me know when the eagles are zooming in and about Seaside Park and all that. Yeah, I don't go into the water. I just listen. All you folks that want to go in our wonderful lakes and streams and off of the beach, God bless you. Have a blast. Be careful. My rule is that if there's anything living in the water, I don't go in. That's just me. I'm not denigrating anybody that does that, but it's just moi. What can I tell you? That's it. I venture in water that's got numerous chemicals in it. Yes. Chlorine. I like chlorine. Chlorine's a food group. Too. Well, Paul, it can dry out your skin. Yes, and it also prevents little things from getting in me. Yes. Yeah, but be careful. And I know the summer season is still there, but I guess the next big weekend is going to end up being Labor Day weekend, which is early this year. Labor Day's on what, September 1st? Which is what, the week after next already? So please be careful for the rest of your traversing around the state, our great beaches and state parks. Be careful. Tragically, I think we had that child in Stratford the other day. Just horrible. What a horrible story. Traffic and weather together right here on a Wednesday. Paul in for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Turnpike southbound stop and go, Bridgeport, Fairfield, Westport in through Norwalk. A lot of volume 2 from 9 to exit 7 in Stamford. And on the Parkway, we're seeing some more volume now. Trumbull, Fairfield, heading out of Norwalk's New Canaan Avenue into New Canaan. And a stop and go ride between Ansonia, Derby, and Shelton on Route 8 South. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday, sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
This is your Optimum Beach Report. Expect very high UV levels with a max UV index of 8. Air quality will be fair with an AQI in the 30s and 40s. Looks like ideal conditions for the beach or pool despite a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Powered by Optimum Business.
Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability and speeds up to 8 gig. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
I think my biggest challenge was getting through to him to understand that love is real and you have goals in mind, you have things that want to happen, and I want to help you get there.
Sometimes people tend to shy away from wanting to adopt teenagers because they feel like they've lost so much, but there's still so much to gain.
Just knowing that there's just that other person that cares and loves me out there, it feels great. And they've done so much for me, and I can only be appreciative every single day for just having them in my life.
I think it's been the best decision because I gained a son, and he's the best son ever. If I was down and out, he'd be there.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Friday's meeting between Presidents Trump and Putin is a good chance to gauge Putin's intentions.
The President of the United States getting in the room with the President of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
CBS's Scott MacFarlane is looking into the possibility the Pentagon is planning National Guard deployments in multiple cities.
There's a report in Washington that there was under consideration a quick response force, 2 of them in the country, to quell civil unrest elsewhere in the nation. The Pentagon's pushing back on that, calling it pre-decisional and saying they're not going to comment.
Tropical storm Erin is churning in the Atlantic, and CBS's Nikki Batiste says it may add to the East Coast riptide danger.
This tropical storm that's looming and could come later this week could pose dangers to any beachgoers along this eastern coast. So everyone needs to be cautious, pay attention to the weather.
CBS News Brief, I'm Michael Toscano.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Police have made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stamford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police say Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. A New York man is avoiding further jail time and is sentenced for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. Many of the messages threatened to rape and kill the victim and their children. White had been detained since being arrested in November of 2023 and was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. UConn has eliminated 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials say dozens of other major programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to determine if any others should be closed. The programs were shut down permanently, including obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as UConn workers address a projected budget deficit of $100 million. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stanford surgical clinic. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Kristen Caro-Tenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say that does not appear that any patients were treated with the tampered medications. Sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Connecticut and elsewhere are recalled due to potential contamination. The Favorite Day cookie frosted sugar cookies may contain wood. The expiration dates on the packages vary, and the recalled cookies were sold in packages of 10. The Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National won the Metro Region Championship on Friday to earn the trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas, and the game is set at 7 p.m. It will be televised on ESPN. The last team from Connecticut to win the Little League World Series was Trumbull in 1989. The Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. The scaled-back event is now an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It is limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items along with beer and wine. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass, with Saturday's headliner being Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs songs from the band Queen. I'm Laura Feist, WICC News.
Thank you, Laura. Brought to us this time around by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Hey, now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Stop and go on the Turnpike southbound from Bridgeport through Fairfield. Now busy in Westport. Also heading out of 17 through Norwalk and slow in Stamford. Minor delays in Fairfield on the Parkway. It does get busier just after 4241 southbound heading in through Norwalk on the way into New Canaan. And a slow ride Route 8 south into the Commodore Hall Bridge. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Columbia Dental in Norwalk is part of a trusted integrated network, offering comprehensive dental services from A to Z, all in one convenient location. From routine cleanings to advanced procedures, their expert team is ready to care for your smile. Call Columbia Dental in Norwalk today at 203-299-0111 or visit columbiadental.com. Complete dental care all under one roof.
You can't see it, you can't smell it, but radon gas could be putting your family at risk. Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that could be lurking in your home and cause serious risk to your family's health. Protect your family with a free on-site radon test from Apex Radon Solutions, your local Connecticut certified radon specialist. Apex Radon Solutions is offering free in-home radon test kits to help you detect and protect. Go to apexradonsolutions.com today to get your kit. Healthy air, healthy home with Apex Radon Solutions.
Starting your day off right. Melissa in the Morning. Only on WICC 695.9. The voice of Connecticut.
Keeping you up to date with all the big local stories, national stories, and world stories, as well as Paul Pacelli here. Paul and for Melissa at 7:37, almost 7:38. Upper 80s to around 90, Paul Piorek says, and we're up and underway right now with 73 degrees. Joining us right now is a guest that I've had a few times on the afternoon show, talking about the ongoing brutal war between Ukraine and Russia, and now all eyes set to be on Alaska this coming Friday for a meeting between President Trump and President Vladimir Putin of Russia. It appears that at least for now, President Volodymyr Zelensky will not join that gathering. He is staying away, although I guess the buzz is the president, Mr. Trump, is going to huddle virtually with Zelensky here before whatever happens on Saturday. But I have spoken with this person before to give us some fresh thinking on this. She is a practitioner in residence of national security at the University of New Haven. She teaches various courses on U.S. foreign policy, defense policy, international relations, and comparative politics. She also serves as co-editor of an online scholarly forum, Eyes on Donbass, Politics, Places, and People, at the Harvard Ukrainian Research Institute. She's a former Fulbright scholar and a native of Eastern Ukraine. Dr. Olena Lenin joins us. Dr. Lenin, Paul once again here at WICC. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Looking ahead to Friday, Dr. Lenin, your thoughts here. Do you have any trepidation about this? Open-minded? Are you worried this could turn out worse than better? Give me your thoughts here.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a historic event, but I'm afraid that despite good intentions on Trump's side, understandably, he wants to end the war and he wants to be a peacemaker. But I'm afraid that it's a strategic blunder for the United States on many accounts. I think that even before the meeting has happened, Putin has already scored a diplomatic win in even securing this meeting because he is basically breaking out of the global isolation, distancing himself from sanctions. And I think that is a major setback, not just for Ukraine, but for stabilizing that region and for America's interests, to be frank. I think that one thing that is a pretty clear indication that Trump has a fundamental misunderstanding of what kind of a war it is and what Putin has been trying to achieve. Because Putin doesn't want to end the war. Putin wants to win the war. There's only one outcome that Putin is interested in, and he's been pressing on to achieve his objectives at any cost. And the objective is to deny Ukraine an ability to be a viable state. So without Ukraine at the table, without Putin actually making real concessions, without Putin actually observing a ceasefire, I'm afraid that there will be no peace, and this meeting will only legitimize Putin and will only buy him time and prolong the end of the war of violence in Ukraine.
What are your thoughts, Dr. Lennon, when you hear the line from the White House and other people saying, well, to end this, both sides are going to have to get something. Both sides will have to, in a sense, swap land here. Your thoughts on that?
Right. So the talk of land swaps and territorial concessions reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of, again, what kind of a war it is and who is the aggressor here. Ukraine has nothing to swap. The entire war has been happening on Ukraine's land. All of this is Ukraine's land, and Russia is the occupier. And the war is still ongoing. I think it would be one thing to talk about potential, concessions and swaps if there was a ceasefire holding, if the violence actually and the fighting has stopped. But Russia continues to fire missiles and drones into Ukraine every day. So giving up land will only extend the launching pad for Russia to continue pressing on and take in more of Ukraine's territory. Because, again, the goal remains to control the entire Ukraine, to change leadership in Kyiv. This war is not about land. In 2025, this year alone, the Russians have gained only about 2% of the entire land that they control in Ukraine. So currently, they're holding about 17-18% of Ukraine's territory, and most of that land they occupied in the beginning of the invasion, 2022, 2023. In the past 2 years, they have gained very, very little terrain, and they've been pressing on. But Ukrainians have put on a pretty robust defense, and the Russians are frustrated.
Yeah.
So. But at what cost? The Russians are approaching about 1 million casualties. So Putin has shown time and again that he doesn't care how many of his own people will die for very, very little gain. So this isn't about land. This is about Russia fighting for the principle that Ukraine must not be independent, that it should be under Russia's control. And this is not... Ukraine will never agree to that because giving up land to Russia is basically surrender, and it will only result in Russia gaining more territory and pushing forward and continuing their advances toward Kyiv and the rest of Ukraine.
So, Dr. Lennon, I mean, look, Putin is no fool. He may be as evil as he is in this, but he's no fool, obviously. We've seen that for years. So he understands what you just said, right? I mean, he knows that despite all the 1 million-plus dead Russians, whatever, and the use of all his material war-making machine, that he has gained so little. He's just trying to save face here, right? I mean, does he think he can actually win this and conquer the rest of Ukraine here, short of using nuclear weapons? He can't be that dumb, can he?
Well, I mean, one would hope that he's not that dumb. But again, as the past 10 years have shown, he is committed to his obsession with taking control of Ukraine because it is, like you said, he considers that his historic legacy, and he's trying to save face. At the same time, I think he's also in no rush. He doesn't face any re-election concerns. This could go on for 2, 3, 5, 10 more years. he is secure in power in Russia. He's not facing any opposition or any, elections to lose. So he is, he is in it for the long haul. And I think this is where the United States kind of has a strategic disadvantage, is because he's basically waiting us out. He's waiting the West out. He's trying to outsuffer the West, the United States, and Europeans, in showing that Ukraine means more to him than it does to the West, to the European Union and the United States. At the same time, I think he's playing into Trump's business interests. Again, Trump is a known deal maker. He is also interested in extracting any business opportunities from any situation. And I think Putin is playing into his hands by offering deals, right? So there's the language of making a deal where there are some concessions and trade-offs, but fundamentally, this is just the optics. There are no deals to be made when Russia continues its war of aggression against Ukraine. Ukraine has to be at the table. But I think that Trump is being played by Putin by assuming that there will be a real deal in this situation. I'm afraid that we're only losing time and legitimizing Putin.
Dr. Olena Lennon, she's a practitioner in residence, national security at the University of New Haven, and a native of eastern Ukraine. Dr. Lennon, great to have you back. Thank you so much, and we'll chat down the road. We do appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Dr. Olena Lennon, practitioner in residence, national security at UNH, and a native of eastern Ukraine. Traffic and weather together right here, smack dab on the sixes. Paul in for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on a Wednesday on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Volume Route 8 southbound heading from Ansonia into the Commodore Hall Bridge work zone. We've got delays in Fairfield and from Westport to Norwalk into New Canaan on the Parkway. Stop and go in Westport on the Turnpike coming out of Fairfield, and then a heavy ride in Norwalk and Stamford also. Sponsored by RD Cinto. If you move your office to an RD Cinto property, clients will see you in a world-class facility. Learn more at Cinto.com. You deserve it. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. Step outside. You will notice it is certainly more humid. We have a dew point right now of 71 in Bridgeport. First time this month we have had a dew point of at least 70 degrees, believe it or not. So it is certainly more humid. It'll be that way through the afternoon. Another hot day on the way with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Yesterday's high at Bridgeport, 88. We have had no rain now since August 1st. On that day, we only had 0.08 of an inch of rain, so we are well below normal in the rain gauge. We certainly need the rain. Sunrise this morning, 6:01. We will not have anotre pre-6 a.m. sunrise until the middle of April of next year. Right now it is clear. We have a light breeze out of the southwest at about 7. The barometer is currently 2993. That will be on the way down. 75 already in Bridgeport, so certainly a little warmer than it was yesterday or the morning before at this time. Our dew point is 71, and again, it is clear and bright. It'll be a sunny day, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Air quality alert inland north of the Merritt for Fairfield and New Haven counties from 11 a.m. through 11 p.m. Now, we do run the risk of a shower or a thunderstorm isolated later this afternoon and this evening. Tonight, mild and muggy. There will be areas of fog after midnight with a low in the low 70s. Tomorrow, partly sunny and hot, upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices of at least 95. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms with the front moving on by. Friday, sunny, a generous breeze out of the northwest ushers in that less humid air with a high in the mid-80s. Another great summer weekend on the way. Saturday, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunday, sunny, upper 80s. And Monday, sunny, upper 80s to near 90. Right now it is 75 in Bridgeport. Our dew point 71. A hot and humid day on the way with an isolated shower or thunderstorm later this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
Hey, what's up? I'm Bumper Christoph. It doesn't get better than spending a day fishing and boating on the Sound. If you're like me, love to fish, and you're 18 or younger, get on the action. Sign up for the WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth.
Bridgeport Harbor Marina is proud to offer a $1,000 cash prize for the heaviest blue caught by an 18 and under angler. Register your kids today at bluefishtournament.com. The Bridgeport Harbor Marina, your destination for dining and boating.
Repair your car with confidence at Sono Collision, Fairfield County's premier destination for top-notch collision repairs. Our expert team uses state-of-the-art equipment to restore your vehicle to pre-loss perfection. We prioritize your family's safety when it comes to fixing your car. Trust the care and precision of Sono Collision. Because after a collision, you deserve quality repairs and peace of mind. Visit us today at sonocollision.com. That's sonocollision.com. Your car will thank you.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
Yeah, hey, how are you? 203-333-9422-333 WICC. Thanks once again for the few minutes from Dr. Olena Lennon there, national security expert, Eastern Ukraine native now at the University of New Haven. Stuff making the news. And even now with social media here, there are TikTok trends and social media trends. You may see them, your kids, your sons, your daughter, grandkids, granddaughter, whatever. And now there's one with sunscreen. Now, I use sunscreen probably not as much as I should. I'm very fair-skinned. I have to go to my dermatologist once a year, and usually when I do that, the cryosurgery, those of you who, like me, are fair-skinned, and you get these little precancerous growths, AKs, actinic keratoses, and if you get them early enough, it's just a squirt or 2 or 3 of liquid nitrogen. Dries it up on your skin, the skin flakes off in a couple of days, and you don't have skin cancer. So, you put up with the red and dry skin for a few days, and you forego the melanoma. Sounds like a pretty good trade-off to me. But apparently now there's a new trend out there with sunscreen. So you would say to yourself, Paul, or to me, hey, Paul, what can be a trend with sunscreen? Don't you just slather the stuff on and use it? Well, yeah. But how about this? Have you heard of sunscreen contouring? Yes. Thankfully and I say that tongue-in-cheek, from the folks at TikTok. Sunscreen contouring is a trend being fueled by what else? Not by a qualified dermatologist, not by a deep medical school study, by TikTok. Thank you very much. I still hope we shut this thing down, but we won't because both sides love it. Sunscreen contouring TikTok videos tell you how to selectively. I feel I'm getting dumber by even reading this. How to selectively apply sunscreen to just specific areas of your face. The goal is a tanned, contoured look on the unprotected skin, accented by a highlighted look on the protected skin. You can't create dumb to this level. So basically, it's controlled sunburns on your face. There you go. Doctors say the truth is that your face and your entire body need sunscreen every day to safeguard against sun damage and skin cancer. A similar trend involves applying sunscreen only on tattoos to protect them from fading. Yes, that's where we are now. When patients ask me about this is a licensed dermatologist talking about this. I tell them you should protect your tattoos, but you also need to apply sunscreen to the rest of your body and sun-exposed areas. Man, oh man. So if you hear your son or your daughter or grandson or granddaughter, niece, nephew, whatever, saying, hey, how does my face look because I'm doing sunscreen contouring? Yes, just shake your head. Tell them, hey, you're now out of your inheritance. No, don't do that. It's just a joke. I'm kidding. But on TikTok, they're telling young people how to apply sunscreen selectively, only to certain areas of your face. The goal, they say, is a tanned, contoured look on the unprotected skin, highlighted by an opposite look on the protected skin. Yeah, there you go. All right. How did people like you and I, kids, how did we ever get to where we are without TikTok telling us what to do? TikTok Trends is brought to you by the Chinese Communist Party. All right, don't believe me? Look it up. Traffic and weather together right here, right now on the 6 is Paul, in for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on a Wednesday on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Route 8 is slow into the Commodore Hall Bridge, Shelton, as you come from Derby. Southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, stop and go Bridgeport, Fairfield. Our delays will continue coming out of Westport's 18 into Norwalk, and a slow ride through Stamford. Parkway southbound Trumbull, Fairfield, just past 4241 in through Norwalk and New Canaan. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid 90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid 90s. Friday sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Whoever said all good things must come to an end did not have a Rinnai tankless water heater. Hi, this is Seamus from Tri-City Home Solutions. Rinnai tankless water heaters offer unlimited hot water for the most demanding residential and commercial applications. You can save up to $1,000 on the installation of a new water heater now until August 31st with Tri-City and Rinnai. Visit us at TriCityHomeSolutions.com. Never run out of hot water again.
203-877-HEAT, Tri-City.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Before you throw away those unused medicines,
those pills for your back pain or migraines,
just think for a minute. When you throw them in the trash, they can become lethal in the wrong hands. There are better ways to dispose of your unused meds.
There are lots of police stations, local pharmacies, and hospitals that are approved to take in unused meds
and dispose of them safely so they don't end up in the wrong hands. Our hands.
To find a medicine disposal site near you, visit www.safe.pharmacy. A public service message from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump's just called European leaders great people as he gets set for a virtual meeting ahead of Friday's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on winding down the war in Ukraine. Correspondent Weijia Jiang.
The White House press secretary says they do not expect the meeting between Trump and Putin to end with, quote, deliverables. The hope is that it will lead to a three-way meeting with those two leaders, plus Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
The BBC's James Waterhouse.
I think the concern here is that they will talk about territory and the idea of handing it over in some instances, or the idea of some kind of compromise. And we've heard Zelensky say we can't hand over territory because it'll just allow Russia to build further attacks in the future.
Hundreds of National Guard troops have begun arriving on the streets of the nation's capital on orders of President Trump as part of his plan to curb crime and homelessness. This man lives in the district.
The police need help. They know what they're doing. They just need some more support and bigger numbers.
Numbers show crime in D.C. is at its lowest level in 30 years. A judge has temporarily blocked immigration officials from holding detainees at a federal building in New York City.
The ACLU and other advocates sued ICE last week, claiming the conditions at 26 Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan are unsanitary. Arada Wauda is the CEO of the New York Immigration Coalition.
Some sleeping on the floor, all having to share one bathroom.
While getting only 2 meals a day and no hygiene products. This woman's husband was held there for 6 days.
They treated them like animals.
The temporary restraining order blocks ICE from housing detainees there until it improves the conditions. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A big appliance maker has plans to return more jobs to the U.S.
We bring good things to life.
General Electric says it'll shift production of refrigerators, gas ranges, and water heaters from China and Mexico as part of a more than $3 billion expansion at facilities in Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Emergency officials in Juneau are urging many people to leave the Alaskan capital because of glacial flooding brought on by warmer temperatures. City manager Robert Barr.
Last year, we had in the kind of neighborhood of 300 homes impacted by flooding. This year, I would hope to see that number in the double digits instead of the triple digits.
The fear, a glacial outburst when the Mendenhall River crests at around 4 p.m. local time today. Officials in L.A. have busted up a scheme to sell a bunch of hot mini monsters on the black market. Police say they found 14 boxes of stolen Labubu dolls at a home in Chino while they were investigating a series of thefts from a local warehouse. A teenager was arrested as he tried to run away. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Police have made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stamford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police say Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. A New York man is avoiding further jail time and is sentenced for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. White had been detained since being arrested in November of 2023 and was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. Fairfield has been awarded $2.5 million from the State Bond Commission to create a new adaptive recreation center for individuals with disabilities. Chief of Community Services Anthony Calabrese said the nearly 6,000 square foot center will replace the pilot house at 224 Colony Street, whose lease was terminated in April. The pilot house assisted children with disabilities since 2009, and he said the project is expected to cost about $5 million, with $2.5 million from the state and $500,000 in seed funding approved by Fairfield's representative town meeting. The project is more than halfway towards reaching its funding goal. UConn has eliminated 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials say dozens of other major programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to determine if any others should be closed. The programs were shut down permanently, including obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as UConn workers address a projected budget deficit of $100 million. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stanford surgical clinic. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Kristen Caro-Tenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say that does not appear that any patients were treated with the tampered medications. Sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Connecticut and elsewhere are recalled due to potential contamination. The Favorite Day cookie frosted sugar cookies may contain wood. The expiration dates on the packages vary, and the recalled cookies were sold in packages of 10. The Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National won the Metro Region Championship on Friday to earn the trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas, and the game is set at 7 p.m. It will be televised on ESPN. The last team from Connecticut to win the Little League World Series was Trumbull in 1989. The Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. The scaled-back event is now an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It is limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items along with beer and wine. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass, with Saturday's headliner being Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs songs from the band Queen. I'm Laura Feist, WICC News.
Okay, Laura, thank you. We're sponsored by Abriola Park View Funeral Home, a trusted pillar of compassion in our community. Secure your peace of mind with a free pre-planning consultation. Check them out, abriola.com. Your peace of mind starts here.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Turnpike southbound stop and go in Bridgeport through Fairfield. Also pretty heavy out of Westport 17 through Norwalk, and lots of volume in Stamford too. Parkway is Trumbull through Fairfield. Route 7 from Norwalk into New Canaan, and Route 8 southbound is heavy from Derby into the Commodore Hull Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s, heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Who picks Post University? People who pick Post are people who believe in themselves and their potential. Post people want a school that helps them succeed on their terms, on their budget, and on their schedule. They want on-campus activities and online flexibility. Most of all, they want an education that could help prepare them for success in over 50 fields. Because when you're an Eagle, the sky's the limit. Are you a Post person? Find out now at post.edu.
Here at Stanford Health, expert care begins with a conversation, where big innovations are helping the tiniest patients in our NICU, and mental health means community health. Here, we're collaborating with world-class partners like Columbia University Irving Medical Center, Dana-Farber Brigham Cancer Center, and HSS to redefine cardiac, neurological, cancer, and orthopedic care. From the everyday to the complex, Stanford Health. Care. It's different here.
This is where Milford starts the day. Melissa in the Morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Well, hey, how are you? It is Melissa in the Morning, midweek Wednesday here. You're up and underway on August the 13th. Yep. 20 and 25. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Paul and for Melissa. Paul Bjork says sunny, hazy, hot toward the humid side again today. Muggy with a high topping out upper 80s to around 90. A few more days of the hot stuff, then better weekend coming up. Right now, we're up and underway, generally in the low to mid 70s, depending upon where you are, right? 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Interesting news we had earlier today. You heard Laura mention that UConn reviewing its offerings. And I mentioned this yesterday. I get, when any college says, hey, a degree program or a master's program or whatever is going to be eliminated or scaled back, it's probably a commentary, right, on what's hot in society and what's not and all that. But UConn, thankfully, and listen, I think all colleges and universities that use state taxpayer money, I think they could do this more often. But apparently UConn is paring back on some offerings here, some degree offerings. So UConn says they are closing the following programs. They will no longer offer a grad certificate in global health. All right. They will no longer offer a grad certificate in obesity prevention and weight management. All right. They will stop the graduate program, the grad certificate in school law. They will no longer have a grad certificate in addiction sciences. So those are the graduate certificate programs. Now remember, a graduate certificate program is a different way of getting a grad degree. Like my son has a graduate certificate from the Yale School of Drama, but he didn't get a master's or a bachelor's or a doctorate there. So what a grad certificate is, it's a post-baccalaureate academic credential focused on specific knowledge in a specific field, earned in a much shorter time than a grad degree. So there you go. So they're getting rid of the grad certificates in global health, obesity prevention and weight management, school law, not the school of law, not UConn law, but school law, meaning the legal ins and outs of schools, and addiction services. They're getting rid of the masters in politics and pop culture. Interesting. They're getting rid of the master's and PhD in medieval studies. So apparently the buzz has worn off from the Lord of the Rings thing. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Stop. So no grad certificates in addiction science, law, school law, obesity prevention, weight management, and global health. Master's and doctorate gone in medieval studies. I don't know. What makes somebody say, you know what? I want a PhD in medieval studies. Not that there's anything wrong with studying the medieval days, because Lord knows there were some characters back then. But a doctorate in medieval studies, okay. And an MA, a master's in politics and popular culture. All right. I debated getting a master's for about 5 minutes one day. And I said, no, I can't go back to school. And I know people do it again. And if you're in the teaching profession, medical, I get that. advanced degrees are worth something. But it was just one day where I said, man, this is a long time ago. Said, hey, maybe I should do this. And the other side of the shoulder went, no, you don't want to be back in a classroom. But having said all that, additionally, the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science, the BA and the BS in Applied Mathematical Sciences, and the BS in Mathematics have been consolidated. UConn says the programs had little or no enrollment. Well, and again, I'm not pleased. I'm not laughing at people there, but I don't know. When you have little or no enrollment, there might be a popularity thing going there. Officials say those closures were part of a faculty-driven study and finds them to be different circumstances than the 70 programs still under consideration. So I guess they're looking at gonging another 70 programs. Hey, listen, if nobody is enrolled in these things, it's like a restaurant. What, are you going to serve food if nobody's there? And again, I know there are considerations with the state employees and the American Association of University Professors. I get all that, but good on UConn. Listen, you can't offer stuff that nobody wants to, come up with some new. Hire me. Trust me. I can come up with some majors that will be like a master's in ravioli. Why don't we do that? Seriously. Right? A Bachelor of Arts in veal parm. Can we do that? A baccalaureate in the in the finer points of eating. Why don't we do that? They'd be lined up out the window, out the door. Traffic and weather together right here, right now on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, it's slow. Westport's 18 through Norwalk, a lot of volume in Stamford. Stop and go Trumbull, Fairfield into Westport now on the Merritt Parkway. Then heading from New Canaan Avenue in Norwalk into High Ridge Road in Stamford. Southbound on Route 8, it is slow heading from Derby into Shelton, 84 westbound. We have a two-car crash that is right around the Super 7 exit. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning, everybody. Midweek and already a lot more humid than yesterday or the day before. We have a dew point right now of 72 in Bridgeport. First time this year we have had this month, I should say, we've had a dew point of 70 or better at Bridgeport after a very humid July. So it is now humid and very warm, up to 76 degrees in Bridgeport. We are the mid-70s right now along the shoreline in Milford, Norwalk, and Greenwich. Inland, we're in the lower 70s. 73 in Wilton, 74 right now in Weston along Route 53, and we are down up to about 72 right now in Ansonia along Route 8. The barometer is 2993. That'll be on the way down. We do have a light breeze out of the southwest at about 9, and again, the air is very humid this morning. You will notice it as you step outside. We had no rain yesterday. We have gone now a dozen days without a drop of rain in Bridgeport. We desperately need rain. There may be a renegade shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. The last time we had rain was August 1st, only 0.08 of an inch of rain this month. We should have nearly 2 inches, so again, we are well below normal in the rain gauge. It'll be a sunny day, hot and humid, upper 80s to near 90. Air quality alert inland north of the Merritt and the Wilbur through this afternoon and this evening. We'll have a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. We do run the risk of a renegade shower or thunderstorm later this afternoon or this evening. Tonight, mild and muggy with fog after midnight. We'll be in the lower to mid-70s by daybreak. Tomorrow, partly sunny, hot, humid, upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. A better risk of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. A front moving in late in the day and during the evening. And then behind that, we get less humid. Friday, sunny and drier. There will be a generous breeze out of the northwest, ushering in that less humid air with a high in the mid-80s. And another great summer weekend on the way. Saturday, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunday, sunny with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. And Monday, sunny with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Right now, we've got readings in the 70s, almost 80 right now in Greenwich. And that dew point is on the rise, 72 in Bridgeport. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
For the latest news in Southern Connecticut, WICC is where you turn first on 600 AM and now 95.9 on FM. Hear your favorite live and local shows during the week. Melissa in the Morning, The Lisa Wexler Show, Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on both 600 and 95.9. Plus more live and local news updates on weekends to keep you informed. You found the voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9.
Sell your home smoothly when you call Car Beauty. Go to CarBeautyRealEstate.com.
Hey y'all, it's your boy Gary LaVox of Rascal Flats, and it's true, we are hitting the road one more time next year, and I love traveling through Connecticut. I'm looking so forward to our show coming up in Uncasville. There are so many amazing folks there, like my friend Jonathan Carbeauty of Carbeauty and Company Realtors. If you're thinking about selling your home, you need to talk to John and his team. And hey, you can find out what your home is worth in less than 30 seconds. Just go to Carbeauty and Company Realtors website and click What's My Home Worth? It's free, it's easy, and we'll get you moving on. When you need an agent you can trust, and we'll give you the most selling options, that's Jonathan Carbeauty and Carbeauty and Company Realtors. And remember,
Sell your home smoothly when you call Car Beauty. Go to CarBeautyRealEstate.com.
You get 2 chances to win millions with Connecticut Lottery's $2 million jackpot and $1 million gold scratch tickets. Enter non-winning tickets for a second chance at millions. Because everyone deserves a second chance. Play $2 million jackpot and $1 million gold scratch tickets today. Overall odds by game: $2 million jackpot, 1 in 3.08. $1 million gold, 1 in 3.19. Second chance odds depend on entries received. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling helpline, call 888-789-7777.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. Do you know why Standard Oil was voted best oil company in Connecticut? Great service, day or night. If you have a heating emergency at 2 a.m., Standard Oil has service technicians who work through the night to ensure fast response to heating emergencies, usually within 2 hours. Most importantly, great service means truly knowledgeable technicians who care about customers. For great service, day or night, call Standard Oil or visit us online at standardoil.com.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
On your home laptop or your work desktop, put voiceofct.com in your bookmarks. It's Melissa in the Morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
We're about 9 months away from the Republican nominating convention here. Very interesting story here in the Hartford Courant, story written by Chris Keating, very good reporter in the Courant. In Hartford, headline, Aaron Stewart takes the early fundraising lead in the Republican battle for governor. Interesting. Now, again, Aaron Stewart, and I would assume the other candidates, Jen Tooker, and she's announced, our friend Ryan Fazio, I believe, is in the exploratory committee phase of this. You know, there's things you do before you officially enter a race, for political purposes, too, to give you some cover, and for fundraising as well. But, again, Aaron Stewart here, according to the latest numbers pointed out here in the current article, she's raised over $300,000 in small contributions. And you do know this is what you have to do to get I'm not sure what the figure is here to run for governor from public funding. I think it's $16 million or something like that, which is a lot more than it used to be. But when you consider that if and when Ned Lamont announces that he is, running again, he can self-fund. When you self-fund, you can spend any amount of money you want. And I think last time in 2022, Governor Lamont spent in his second run against Bob Stefanowski, Dick, he spent what's the figure I keep seeing, 23, 24 million bucks? Hey, God bless him. God bless anybody who can self-fund. But it's interesting now when how you've seen it, especially on a local level, but even on a national level. Remember all those years? Oh, campaign finance reform, and we've got to get the big money out of politics. They're all liars. Let me tell you something. Both parties love money. It's the mother's milk of politics, and money is the way that you reach voters through advertising, on radio, on television, on social media, on digital, online stuff. So anybody that is still in this day is going to root and toot some cockamamie line about, well, we have to get big money out of politics, like Bernie Sanders. Here's Bernie Sanders going out there saying get the money out of politics, and this guy's worth, what a figure I saw the other day, he's worth about $24 million. Come on, stop. But anyway, kudos to Erin Stewart. She hasn't gotten there yet, but if she gets, I think, $350,000 or $360, whatever it is, about 300 and change thousand from a certain amount of small donations, you automatically get about 15 or 16 or 17 mil, whatever it is, to run for governor. Now, that's no small amount of money. Can that beat Ned Lamont? I don't know. I don't know. The guy's still, no matter what polls you look at, the governor's approval rating, which does include a lot of independent voters and about 10 or 12% from Republicans. The governor's got about anywhere from a 50, 53, 55% approval rating to low 60s in some spots. So it's going to be interesting. Our friend Ryan Fazio is, I guess, at the exploratory committee level there. So we'll see what shakes out. Jen Tooker, first select person from Westport, is in on the race, too. So we will see. I'm seeing rumblings online from people I know as to who Erin Stewart, the soon-to-be exiting mayor of New Britain, might name as a lieutenant governor running mate, but we shall see. Now, remember, I don't think they changed the law here, but in Connecticut, the lieutenant governor and the gubernatorial candidate, it's like a political shotgun marriage. In other words, there's I believe it's still that way, a separate race for lieutenant governor. You don't necessarily run as a team in Connecticut, but things are said to delegates who said, hey, I prefer this guy or this gal. So we shall see, but Erin Stewart getting closer and closer and closer to having the millions to at least make a run, or at least make a run if she gets the nomination. Now, again, there are people that I communicate with online and I talk to on the show all the time in the afternoon who say, well, she may be the soon-to-be former mayor of New Britain, may be a little too centrist or left-leaning for some Republicans on issues like abortion and guns. So we shall see. Traffic and weather together right here. It's Paul and for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on a Wednesday on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Let's go right to the Connecticut Turnpike this morning. We'll start out there with a busy ride from Saugatuck 17 through Norwalk. Heavy in Stamford 9 to exit 7. It is stop and go on the Parkway, Trumbull, Fairfield, and then Norwalk's New Canaan Avenue on the way to High Ridge Road in Stamford. Stop and go on Route 8 southbound. That is heavy Derby into the Commodore Hull Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday, sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
We all have the ability to make a difference, to come together, to change a life, to make a wish come true. By supporting Make-A-Wish Connecticut, you are bringing hope and joy to children fighting critical illnesses. Children like me. Visit ct.wish.org to learn how you can become a wishmaker and be part of a journey that changes lives. Just imagine what you can do. Visit ct.wish.org today to learn more. That's ct.wish.org.
At Maritime Chevrolet of Fairfield, you have more choices. Opt for a courtesy loaner vehicle or have us pick up, transport, and redeliver your car. And now, Mobile Service Plus. You can now request service from your home or office. Think of us as the DoorDash of service for your vehicle maintenance needs. Brakes, tires, oil changes, even diagnostic and software updates, all without leaving your home or work. We meet you on your terms at MaritimeChevy.com, where superior hospitality comes standard.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Friday's meeting between Presidents Trump and Putin is a good chance to gauge Putin's intentions.
The President of the United States getting in the room with the President of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
CBS's Scott MacFarlane is looking into the possibility the Pentagon is planning National Guard deployments in multiple cities.
There's a report in Washington that there was under consideration a quick response force, 2 of them in the country, to quell civil unrest elsewhere in the nation. The Pentagon's pushing back on that, calling it pre-decisional and saying they're not going to comment.
Tropical storm Erin is churning in the Atlantic, and CBS's Nikki Batiste says it may add to the East Coast riptide danger.
This tropical storm that's looming and could come later this week could pose dangers to any beachgoers along this eastern coast. So everyone needs to be cautious, pay attention to the weather.
CBS News Brief, I'm Michael Toscano.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Police have made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stamford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police say Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. A New York man is avoiding further jail time and is sentenced for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. White had been detained since being arrested in November of 2023 and was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. Fairfield has been awarded $2.5 million from the State Bond Commission to create a new adaptive recreation center for individuals with disabilities. Chief of Community Services Anthony Calabrese said the nearly 6,000 square foot center will replace the pilot house at 224 Colony Street, whose lease was terminated in April. The pilot house assisted children with disabilities since 2009, and he said the project is expected to cost about $5 million, with $2.5 million from the state and $500,000 in seed funding approved by Fairfield's representative town meeting. The project is more than halfway towards reaching its funding goal. UConn has eliminated 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials say dozens of other major programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to determine if any others should be closed. The programs were shut down permanently, including obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as Yukon workers address a projected budget deficit of $100 million. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stanford surgical clinic. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Kristen Caro-Tenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say that it does not appear that any patients were treated with the tampered medications. Sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Connecticut and elsewhere are recalled due to potential contamination. The Favorite Day Cookie frosted sugar cookies may contain wood. The expiration dates on the packages vary, and the recalled cookies were sold in packages of 10. The Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National won the Metro Region Championship on Friday to earn the trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas, and the game is set at 7 p.m. It will be televised on ESPN. The last team from Connecticut to win the Little League World Series was Trumbull in 1989. The Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. The scaled-back event is now an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It is limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items along with beer and wine. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass, with Saturday's headliner being Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs songs from the band Queen. I'm Laura Feist, WICC News.
Right, you are Laura. She's brought to us this time around by the folks at M.J. Thomas Jewelers. Hey, you looking to buy or sell gold? Visit M.J. Thomas Jewelers in Stratford for expert service and great deals. Their knowledgeable staff is there to assist with all your gold needs. More info, go to mjthomas.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Another summery ride. Pretty soon you'll be joined by school buses on the roads. But right now we're looking at the Connecticut Turnpike. Slow in Bridgeport, Westport to Norwalk. A lot of volume in Stamford, too, we're seeing. Stop and go on the Parkway from Trumbull, heading in through Westport's 42. And it's busy out of New Canaan Avenue in Norwalk on the way to High Ridge Road in Stamford. Route 8 southbound, that's heavy from Derby into the Commodore Hull Bridge. Shelton, Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Fish On, announcing the WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth. Now in its 43rd year. Fish Long Island Sound August 23rd and 24th. Land the heaviest blue and win $25,000. Fish to win and fish for fun. Just pick up a registration form at the Surfside Hotel in Stratford or go to bluefishtournament.com. Thanks to Tri-City Home Solutions and Rinai and Xfinity. The Surfside Hotel in Stratford, Connecticut's favorite beach hotel. The beach is calling and you must go. TheSurfside.com.
From Long Ridge to the Cove and everywhere in Stamford, it's Melissa in the Morning on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Hey, how are you? 8:38, almost 8:39, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Save number, talk, or text. Paul Pacelli here from the afternoon show. In for Melissa this morning. She's off for a few days, back on Monday. A little hotter, warmer, and stickier today, says Paul Pioric, up around the upper 80s to about 90. We're in the mid-70s right now. You may have heard the news over the past few days that longtime 3rd District Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro underwent treatment for spinal stenosis. Now, we hear the term spinal stenosis all the time. Maybe somebody in our family had it. Maybe, a loved one has been diagnosed with it, or somebody we associate with. But what is it exactly medically, and what are the treatments for it? And is it something that you and I should worry about as we get older? Joining us right now is Dr. Tracy Markey. She is an associate professor of medical sciences and directs the medical student home program at Quinnipiac University, the Quinnipiac Med School. Doctor, good morning. It's Paul here. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Paul. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for making the time. We appreciate it. We know you must be very busy. Okay, so a lot of us have heard, oh, yeah, he has spinal stenosis, or, yeah, my mom was, diagnosed with spinal stenosis. What does that exactly mean?
That's a great question. So this is a condition where the spaces within your spine, or the disc spaces, compress over time. So it's normal to have wear and tear, to have the discs wear down over time. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, then there are little bone spurs that develop. You can have arthritis, and then the nerves where they exit your vertebrae get kind of squished. And so when that happens, that causes irritation and can cause pain down the buttocks and down the legs, and can also cause weakness.
Interesting. So again, this could be something, doctor, that may develop in a fully healthy person, right? It's one of these, I guess, the human bodies at ages, like this stuff just happens. Is that what it is?
You're absolutely right. But what's really interesting, Paul, is that if you x-rayed everybody in the state, for example, and you looked at their backs over the age of 50, more than half of those people would have arthritis in their back. Wow. They'd have some disc compression, but most people have no symptoms. It's only a small percentage that actually develop the pain and the weakness. And the good news is that this is slowly progressive. So if people develop symptoms such as leg weakness or pain in their low back or down their legs, this is usually addressed first by something conservative. So physical therapy, anti-inflammatories, exercises that are non-impact exercises can be helpful. Even acupuncture can be helpful.
No.
And if that doesn't work, then oftentimes we'll go with a spinal injection, sometimes with steroids, and some lifestyle modifications. And if for the small percent that doesn't work for, then we have to go to surgery.
Yeah, and we heard, and obviously we don't know the details, HIPAA laws and everything, but we heard that the Congresswoman had, at 82, she's still pretty robust, she had an operation or a procedure there. So what might, doctor, she have had done? Are there a couple of things here that a patient can choose from, or is there one or two recognized first or second attempts here?
So generally what they do is they try to relieve the pressure on the veins. So that may be anything from cleaning out that area, taking away bone spurs, or what's called osteophytes, taking those away. Sometimes they'll do a fusion, which is where they will fuse two vertebrae together to help keep that pressure off. Sometimes they'll put a spacer in between the vertebrae to lift and again take off that pressure. But I'm not privy as to what she had done.
Yeah. So are there things that, doctor, people do not knowing that it's causing this? In other words, could this be, and you tell me yes or no, is this a posture thing? Is it lack of exercise, bad shoes? What is, I mean, I know you say we get it as we get older, but are there things we're doing in our lifestyle, being overweight? Are there things do we know that contribute to this or not?
That's an excellent question. So in general, the less stress that you put on your body, the better. However, again, just by walking, moving around, lifting heavy items, and sometimes it's just genetics, these things can happen anyway. But we do know that people who have a strong core, which is the middle part of your body, people who do more of a walking exercise, they tend to have fewer problems, or they develop symptoms much later than somebody who doesn't have good core strength or who is not physically active. And again, a good symptom to watch for, sort of an indicator, if you will, is if you have low back pain that gets worse when you stand and when you walk, but gets better when you sit or when you lean forward, that may be an indicator of this condition. But generally, if you have back pain, and let's face it, 90% of people will eventually have some episode of back pain in their lifetime. But if you have back pain that persists for more than a couple of weeks or is getting progressively worse, it's really best to get that evaluated by your primary care physician, because they can point you in the right direction to get appropriate conservative treatment.
And finally, doctor, is there any connection or not between osteoporosis and this or not?
Another excellent question. So there is no connection per se. So people who have osteoporosis can get what are called compression fractures, which is a fracture in the vertebrae itself, but that does not increase your risk per se of stenosis. Stenosis is a different condition.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tracy Markey. She's an associate professor of medical sciences, and she directs the medical student home program at the Quinnipiac University Med School in Hamden. Doctor, thank you. We appreciate the time. Take care, and hopefully we can chat down the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. That'd be great.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
betcha.
Dr.
Bye-bye.
Tracy Markey, associate professor of medical sciences at the Quinnipiac University Medical School in Hamden, or as my father's customers used to say, Amaden. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
More volume now coming out of Bridgeport into Fairfield on the Connecticut Turnpike. Slow Westport, Norwalk, Stamford, 25A connector. And that is busy from Main Street to the merge of 95. It is slow on the Parkway southbound, heading from Trumbull through Westport's 42. Lots of volume in New Canaan and a lot of volume to Route 8 southbound as you approach the work area of the Commodore Hull Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. It is certainly more humid this morning. We have finally hit a dew point of 70 or higher for the first time this month. Right now, the dew point in Bridgeport is 71. Yesterday's high, 88, was reached just a little after 2 in the afternoon yesterday. We have yet to hit 90 this month in Bridgeport, and boy, do we need the rain. We have had no rain now since August 1st. On that date, we only had 0.08 of an inch of rain. Normally, we should have about 2 inches for the month. As of today, we are nowhere near that. We need the rain. We may get a little bit of rain later this afternoon, but a better risk during the afternoon tomorrow. Currently, it is 78 degrees in Bridgeport. We're up to 80 right now in Greenwich, 79 in Milford, 79 in Norwalk, inland mid-70s, 75 in Shelton, 76 right now in Weston along Route 53, and it is 74 in Danbury. That breeze very light to the southwest at about 9, and our barometer is 2993, holding steady this morning. A day not unlike yesterday or the day before. We'll be in the upper 80s under a lot of sun. Heat indices nearing the mid-90s later this afternoon. We do run the risk of an isolated shower or a thunderstorm later in the day. We have an air quality alert 11 a.m. through 11 p.m. Tonight, an early shower, otherwise fog moving in after midnight. It will be a mild and muggy night with a low in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly sunny and hot, the high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. We have a better risk of showers and thunderstorms later in the afternoon with a front moving in late in the day. Friday, behind the front, drier and not as hot. Under a lot of sun, a generous breeze out of the northwest. We'll have a high in the mid-80s. The weekend, a summer weekend on the way. Saturday, sunny with a high in the mid to upper 80s. Sunday, sunny, upper 80s. And Monday, sunny, upper 80s to near 90. Right now, we have readings nearing 80 already. The dew point finally for the first time this month in the 70s, so it is humid and hot through this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
Ready for a confident new smile? At Downtown Dental, get Invisalign or veneers with the best quality at the lowest price. Missing teeth from decay or an injury? Fix your smile fast with dental implants for just $999 with crowns and dental implants in a day.
I'm so glad I went to Downtown Dental for my implants. My teeth look amazing, and it was painless and affordable.
I smile with confidence because of Downtown Dental.
Offices in Bridgeport, Norwalk, and West Haven. Call Downtown Dental. DowntownDentalCT.com.
The Center for Family Justice proudly presents the 28th Annual Speaking of Women Luncheon, featuring Beverly Gooden, September 9th at the Waterview in Monroe. Beverly Gooden is an author, activist, and creator of the viral social media movement, #WhyIStayed. Speaking of Women helps CFJ provide crisis and supportive services to victims of domestic and sexual violence in 6 local communities. For tickets and info, visit centerforfamilyjustice.org.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Service, repair, or replace your AC system this summer. Go to BassoPHAC.com. Steve Basso, Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Everything is better with Basso. BassoPHAC.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. I'm just not laughing at you folks. Paul and for Melissa, by the way, not laughing at her. I'm just laughing about a conversation that Eric, the producer, and I just had, and I talk about this in the afternoon here with Chris Williams, and I'm trying to convince the front office here. Although, not surprisingly, they tell me to get out when I suggest this. I say, hey, let's offer our great listeners here, Connoisseur Media, WICC 600 AM, 95.9 FM, and online, voiceofct.com. Let's offer them a separate audio channel where they get what we call the program audio in real time. And then they could hear what Eric and I talk about, what Eric and Melissa talk about, what Chris and Lisa Wexler talk, because we're constantly chatting with each other. I think that would be interesting. It's like what is this thing they do for football, the Manning cast, where you can watch the game but have Peyton and Eli and Archie and Cooper, and pretty soon who's the grandkid? I've Arch. Yes, Arch. Although God bless the kid, he's staying in college, but why wouldn't he? He's got like a $12 million endorsement deal. Anyway, you know what I mean. I'm trying to do a Manning cast thing here on Connoisseur Media, but I don't think the front office is too into it because of the possible downside. Anyway, yes. So I was in no way, shape, or form or shape laughing at you folks. Todd in Shelton is here to add his perspective to spinal stenosis. I'm sorry, Ted. Thank you. I'm making up names. Not enough caffeine. Ted, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Paul? Good morning.
What's up, Ted? What do you got for us? Good morning.
Well, just listening to your chat with the doctor about spinal stenosis, and I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, and it's not fun.
Oh, I can imagine.
I've been through 2 epidurals. That didn't work. I did a nerve block to see what side it didn't work.
Yeah.
But basically, she's right. I got arthritis, and basically, it's where the nerves travel. It's being choked.
Oh.
So what they want, I'm 64 years old, and what they want to do is they want to do what they call a spinal cord stimulation, where they actually hook up probes to your nerves, and they put a TENS unit on the side of you.
Yeah.
And if it works, then they surgically put it in you. But unfortunately, that's $10,000. And being that I am on my own health insurance for $7,000 deductible, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I tried stretching, I tried exercises, everything, and it doesn't work.
Wow.
And it really does stink.
Ted, was there anything in the way you worked, or you know, do your ortho guys and gals who examine you, did they pinpoint how it happened, or it was just like the luck of your body? Did you do anything that might have caused this or not?
Well, basically, it's wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
I'm in construction.
All right, yeah, okay.
You know, we bend over. Plus, I was in the military.
Right.
I was airborne. I jumped out of planes.
God bless you.
You're welcome. But you know, there was no ever an injury. Yeah. It's just basically wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like I'm at the point where, and she said, the pain does shoot through both my legs, right across your buttocks. I had what they called sciatic.
Yeah.
And then now I'm experiencing where my whole left leg sometimes goes numb, where you're almost like ready to fall.
Oh.
And hopefully in April I turn 65, Medicare.
That's, you know, you know what, Todd? It's funny you mentioned that, and I don't mean it's funny, but you said you're 64. You know, I'm 64 too. Thank God, I feel pretty good. I got a couple of minor things, diabetes, but I do have kidney stones. And my urologist was saying, hey, you know, and we did the procedure, Ted, you know, where the vibration to break up the stones that worked, right? But he said, you still got a couple of stones there. I said, you know what? When I turn 65 next year and Uncle Sam is paying, that's when we'll do the lithotripsy again. How's that?
Exactly. You know, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I had excuse me, I had great doctors. I had a pain management doctor.
Yeah.
Like I said, the epidurals, you got that 15 seconds of burning and pressure,
yeah,
and it goes away. But it's the worst 15 seconds of my life.
Hey, Ted, listen. Yeah, I do have to run here. Ted, thank you for the call. Appreciate it, man. Be good, and call me in the afternoon. Keep me updated with this, okay?
You're welcome, Paul. I will do so. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. So there you go, spinal stenosis. Ugh. Yeah, I occasionally get, you know, the shooting pain down the right leg and the weakness in the leg, but, you know, rarely. But again, I think, well, it's got to be something, you know, way I slept or not stretching enough or whatever. Yikes. But at least Ted sounded like he was in good spirits with all that. So, yeah, what did he say? They want to put an electric stimulator in him? Wow, modern medicine. Yeah, I get it, but yikes. Ted, thank you. Appreciate it. Be good. Drive safely. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Well, they didn't waste any time setting up the roadwork this morning. Wilbur Cross Parkway southbound, Hamden to the West Rock Tunnel. Right lane is out through there. Slow going from Trumbull into Westport on the Parkway, and also heading in through New Canaan. Stop and go on the Connecticut Turnpike through Bridgeport, and then Westport 17, Norwalk, Stamford 2, and northbound delays approaching the Milford Rest area. Southbound slow Route 8 into the Commodore Hull Bridge. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday, sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
It's time to make an appointment to tour Forest Hills Milford, one of the newest luxury rental 55 and over communities in Connecticut. Step into a home where every detail is designed to offer ease and comfort. Forest Hills Milford's spacious, brand new luxury apartments include assigned garage parking with elevator access and use modern technologies to bring ease and comfort to everyday living. Nestled in the beauty of Milford, close to beaches, golf, marinas, and more. Visit foresthillsmilford.info to learn more. Forest Hills Milford, home made easy.
Town Fair Tire has the area's largest inventory of name brand tires at discount prices, including Michelin tires, which give you the perfect match. A relaxing driving experience from your vehicle, along with all-season design for superior performance that stands out from the crowd. And Town Fair stands out from other dealers with a guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires and gives you more free services for life than anywhere. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire. What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump is praising EU leaders as great people ahead of today's talks in Berlin on ending the war in Ukraine. Mr. Trump will attend virtually. Ukrainian President Zelensky will be there in person. Vladimir Putin will meet with Mr. Trump Friday at a summit in Anchorage. The BBC's Paul Adams.
The point seems to be to have the last word in Donald Trump's ear ahead of the meeting in Alaska, to tell him that all this rather loose talk that he's been using in the last few days about territorial swaps, all of this is very, very premature, that the first and most important job is to bring about a ceasefire. And that is something that Russia still seems reluctant to allow to happen as an initial step.
There's a tropical storm named Erin churning in the Atlantic. It could power up and reach the U.S. mainland. Meteorologist Rob Marciano.
Hasn't really developed much in the last 24 hours. It's been very slow to get itself going. It's got dry air. It's got some cooler temperature at the water to deal with. But over the next 2 days, probably by Friday, we'll look for it to be our first hurricane of the Atlantic season. And then as we head towards Saturday and Sunday, to Category 3 status. So that's a major hurricane.
The system's already producing dangerous rip currents along the East Coast. 5 swimmers had to be rescued in a powerful tide off Seaside Heights, New Jersey. 1 died. Correspondent Nikki Batiste is at the shore. She asked Seaside Heights Police Chief Thomas Boyd.
Given a hurricane might be headed this way, what is your advice to beachgoers?
Well, you could go to the water, but if you see the red flags up, don't go in the water. If there's no lifeguards, don't go in the water.
Texas Democrats who fled the state a week and a half ago to avoid a vote on a Republican-led congressional redistricting map are considering a return. The GOP's Phil King.
In contrast to the complications involved with race-based redistricting, this map, as before, is built on political performance, which is a well-established and permissible basis for drawing electoral districts.
Republican leaders say if they can't reach a quorum for the session by 10 a.m. Friday, they'll end their special session. A new Gallup poll finds not as many Americans are drinking booze. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
According to a new Gallup poll, 53% of U.S. adults feel even 1 to 2 drinks is bad for their health. And the survey found a record low number of Americans say they do still consume alcohol, only 54%. But among those, they say they're drinking less than they used to.
Dow futures are up 154. S&P futures ahead 18. NAS futures 189 ahead. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left? I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need hair volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, The shedding has all but stopped. Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Police have made an arrest in connection with an incident outside a Stamford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Police say Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. A New York man is avoiding further jail time and is sentenced for making threatening and harassing communications to a Connecticut resident. Prosecutors say 30-year-old Elijah White sent over 1,300 text messages to the victim, along with over 70 phone calls and 3 voicemails. White had been detained since being arrested in November of 2023 and was sentenced yesterday in Bridgeport. Fairfield has been awarded $2.5 million from the State Bond Commission to create a new adaptive recreation center for individuals with disabilities. Chief of Community Services Anthony Calabrese said the nearly 6,000 square foot center will replace the pilot house at 224 Colony Street, whose lease was terminated in April. The pilot house assisted children with disabilities since 2009, and he said the project is expected to cost about $5 million, with $2.5 million from the state and $500,000 in seed funding approved by Fairfield's representative town meeting. The project is more than halfway towards reaching its funding goal. UConn has eliminated 7 academic programs that have been dealing with low enrollment numbers. UConn officials say dozens of other major programs will also be reviewed in the upcoming academic year to determine if any others should be closed. The programs were shut down permanently, including obesity prevention and weight management, addiction sciences, and global health. The program reductions have come as UConn workers address a projected budget deficit of $100 million. A former nurse is sentenced to spend 5 months in federal prison for tampering with vials of painkillers at a Stanford surgical clinic. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Kristen Caro-Tenuto of New York brought home some vials holding fentanyl and hydromorphone. She then used the drugs before putting saline in the vials and returning them to the clinic. Officials say that does not appear that any patients were treated with the tampered medications. Sugar cookies sold at Target stores in Connecticut and elsewhere are recalled due to potential contamination. The Favorite Day cookie frosted sugar cookies may contain wood. The expiration dates on the packages vary, and the recalled cookies were sold in packages of 10. The Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Fairfield National won the Metro Region Championship on Friday to earn the trip to the World Series. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas, and the game is set at 7 p.m. It will be televised on ESPN. The last team from Connecticut to win the Little League World Series was Trumbull in 1989. The Milford Oyster Festival is coming this weekend. The scaled-back event is now an evening-only festival, Friday and Saturday. It is limited to Fowler Field and no longer extended to downtown. In addition to oysters, there will be food trucks serving lobster rolls and other items along with beer and wine. Friday's headlining act is the tribute band Backstage Pass, with Saturday's headliner being Almost Queen, a tribute group that performs songs from the band Queen. I'm Laura Feist, WICC News.
Okay, Laura, thank you. Brought to us this time around by M.J. Thomas Jewelers. Are you looking to buy or sell gold? Visit M.J. Thomas Jewelers in Stratford for expert service and great deals. Their knowledgeable staff is there to assist with all your gold needs. Check them out, mjthomas.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Route 8 southbound roadwork at the Commodore Hall Bridge in Shelton as the backup from Ansonia down. We're dealing with construction 2 southbound on the Wilbur Cross from Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. And then it's a slow ride in New Canaan further south on the Parkway. Stop and go through Bridgeport on the Connecticut Turnpike, Westport through Norwalk, Stamford, heavy volume 9 to 7, and northbound delays in Greenwich for the road work. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. Last year, more consumers switched to Chevrolet than any other automotive brand. Why? With more standard passive and active safety features than any other brand, plus easy-to-use technology like wireless Apple CarPlay, Chevy simply builds in more value. And who doesn't love getting more for their money? With fresh inventory arriving daily, see for yourself at Carl Chevrolet, 261 Elm Street in New Canaan, or online at carlchevy.com.
Whoever said all good things must come to an end did not have a Rinnai tankless water heater. Hi, this is Seamus from Tri-City Home Solutions. Rinnai tankless water heaters offer unlimited hot water for the most demanding residential and commercial applications. You can save up to $1,000 on the installation of a new water heater now until August 31st with Tri-City and Rinnai. Visit us at tricityhomesolutions.com. Never run out of hot water again.
Call 203-877-HEAT, Tri-City.
This is where Shelton starts the day. Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, hi, it's Paul and for Melissa right here at the Melissa in the Morning program. With us till 10 today, Lisa Wexler at 10. The download with John and Chris at noon. The best of my program later on today, along with our pal Eric Erickson. Paul and for Melissa till Friday. We'll get back to the phones momentarily at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. I got an email the other day, and I love history. I'm a real history buff, and I love documents, the great writings throughout the years that have formulated what we now call a society here, a country or whatever, and mankind down through the decades. And the Connecticut Democracy Center has partnered with the National Archives, and they're launching what's called America's 100 Docs for history buffs of all ages. It's online. I've been going through it. It's fascinating. And to talk about this with us is Sally Whipple. Sally is Executive Director of Connecticut's Old State House to inform us on this. Hi, Sally. It's Paul at WICC. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you for having me today.
And thanks for the availability, Sally. We appreciate it. So tell my listeners about this, the America's 100 Docs, and what was the genesis about that? Talk about that.
Sure. 100 Docs was started by the National Archives Foundation, along with a group called More Perfect. And this is a game that really brings students and the public into America's history through primary documents, which is really a great entry point for coming into the story of our country. Mm-hmm. And the idea of it is it will help students, families, friends. I think this would be great for book clubs, for museums, for libraries, to really explore some of America's most interesting documents and to vote for the ones that they feel are most important in our quest to be more perfect. And it's just a great way for people to look at what's happened in this country. The documents range from 1781 to 2001.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because when I saw this, before I clicked on it, I'm like, well, okay, 100 documents. I'm like, well, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and, maybe a few others. But the fact that you cite 100 here is interesting, because I think, Sally, most people would stop at 2 or 3. Oh, yeah, the Constitution, 1785, the Declaration of Independence. But a lot of these documents are very formative, as you say, for the country, and the fact that we're 100 deep in here is fascinating.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think it's also interesting that the National Archives Foundation decided not to include the Constitution, the Declaration, because those are sort of no-brainers.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that would be most important. But they do have so many different documents, including not just written things, but maps and patents and photographs. So there are a lot of different kinds of primary sources to look at. And they go through really our entire history. We're talking about things like Washington's first inaugural address. It covers the Wright brothers, the Compromise of 1850. It also has the Immigration Act, 17th Amendment, things that you may or may not think of as being really important. But once you dig into them, you'll probably say, wow, this did have an impact on my life today. And I'm going to see how I compare this to the other documents in the collection.
Yeah, and Sally, it's interesting, too. One thing I always find fascinating in looking back at documents on this, we're in this age now of everything's abbreviated, everything's tapped out on a phone, squeeze your message down to 4 letters, but how wonderfully written some of these documents were and still are. And the magnificence of the words, oftentimes even put there by people who did not have these incredible educational backgrounds. And I say to myself, when I read this stuff and look at this stuff, it's like, yeah, there were some really smart people back then. They may not have had all the bells and whistles and toys that we do, but yeah, we were put together by some really smart folks.
You know what I think, too? I think these things are put together by people who had time to think, because there weren't so many distractions around. So they could go for a long walk and think and put ideas together and then put them on paper. And I should mention that sometimes when people hear, oh, there are documents to read, it gets frightening because how can you possibly read them? They're so hard because they weren't typewritten, they weren't done on computers.
Yeah.
But there are transcriptions for all of the documents. So you don't have to struggle through all of the old-fashioned handwriting, but I'll tell you, it is fun to struggle through that handwriting. It's a real challenge.
Absolutely, Sally. And in a day where there's a debate, that never goes away, do we teach cursive or not, right, in schools? And then you read this, you look at some of the stuff, and it's like, forget what it says for the moment. They're almost works of art, some of these are. They really are.
They are. They're really, really beautiful. And it's so much fun to dig into them as documents. And I don't know if this is included in the teaching resources that goes along with the game, which are very good. But there are all kinds of ways that you can look at a document, thinking about, how is it written, who wrote it, who got it, who received it, where is it from, what's it talking about, just like really thinking through a bunch of questions to help you determine what this document is. So you're looking at it from the fact that it is ink on paper, sometimes fountain pen ink on paper, to what the meaning of this document is. So there are a lot of different ways to look at it.
All right, folks, you can look at all the documents we've been talking about here. Simple address, go to your web browser, 100docs, D-O-C-S, 100docs.vote, and you go from there. Thanks to Sally Whipple, Executive Director of a wonderful spot, Connecticut's Old State House. Sally, thank you for the time this morning. We appreciate it. Take care, and hopefully we can chat down the road. Thanks, Sally.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Sally Whipple there. She, once again, is Executive Director of Connecticut's Old State House, and they are promoting, along with the National Archives and the Connecticut Democracy Center, launching America's 100 Docs, D-O-C-S, 100, the number 100, put Docs, D-O-C-S, for history buffs of all ages. All right. Check it out. It's one day, this is one of those things where if you say, well, let me give this a quick look, no, you'll be there for a couple of hours. Trust me, I know. Traffic and weather together right here. It's Paul and for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Getting ready for this Wednesday ride. Let's see what's happening here. Southbound on the Turnpike, slow Fairfield from Bridgeport. And then also as you make your way into exit 17, Saugatuck through Norwalk. Lots of volume in Stamford. Northbound delays Greenwich heading in through the construction area. Southbound on the Parkway, slow going from Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. The road work ongoing there. And then further south, it's a little bit busy. Fairfield into Westport, slow in Stamford. Commodore Hull Bridge southbound, that's causing the backup on Route 8 from Derby down. Sponsored by RD Cinto. If you move your office to an RD Cinto property, you could be in the health club right now. Learn more at Cinto.com. You deserve it. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
A sunny sky, but hot and humid through this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be an isolated shower or thunderstorm later in the afternoon. Patchy fog moving in after midnight with an overnight low in the low 70s, mild and muggy. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Partly sunny, hot and humid with a high in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Friday sunny, not as hot, less humid with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You're not always near your radio, but you still want to stay informed on Fairfield County matters. There are lots of ways to enjoy WICC beyond your radio at 695.9. Stream us free at work on voiceofct.com or on your smartphone by downloading our app. And now it's easier than ever to listen on your smart speaker when you say, play WICC. The voice of Connecticut is always live, local, and free, wherever you are. It's time for the Market Scoreboard Report with Ron and Sana. Now on WICC's 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Stocks are extending their gains this morning as both the S&P and NASDAQ move farther into record territory, and the Dow picks up 100 points plus in pre-market trading. European stocks up across the board. Asia also higher, with the Nikkei hitting a new all-time high again in overnight trade. It seems that the markets are now betting, not here but abroad as well, on a rate cut from the Federal Reserve in September, given yesterday's relatively tame inflation data, and maybe a rate cut that is larger than a quarter point. That seems to have markets somewhat animated this morning, with 10-year note yields dipping a bit to 4.26% and the dollar weakening further, oftentimes a sign that the market is anticipating a rate cut. Crude oil futures down $0.50 to $62.66 a barrel, and gold getting help from lower rates and a weaker dollar, up $14 to $34.13 the ounce as we kick off a morning which is not going to have a lot of economic data. Tomorrow we'll get wholesale inflation numbers and jobless claims, but another positive start to the day and flirtations with record levels for both the S&P and NASDAQ.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
All the latest live and local updates for your ride to work. It's Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone? At, let's see, 9:22, almost 9:23. Hot, muggy, upper 80s. It'll feel hotter than that, Paul Piorek says. Later on today, we're tickling. I'll give it an 80-degree tickle right now. How about that, right? Right about 80, heading to near 90 right here. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Again, Fairfield National tonight in action, 7 o'clock on ESPN, I think. And they are taking on the Lamar Little League champion from Richmond, Texas. So let's just give you what teams are there. I don't want to go through the whole bracket, but again, we do know that it's Fairfield tonight. Fairfield National taking on Richmond, Texas. Now, the Richmond, Texas team is from the Lamar Little League. They're the Southwest champions. Fairfield, of course, from the Metro Zone champions, Fairfield National. The Great Lakes champion is from Clarendon Hills, Illinois. That's the Clarendon Little League. The Mid-Atlantic Township, the Mid-Atlantic champion is Wauchane Township in Pennsylvania, the Glenmore Eagle Little League. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sioux Falls Little League in the Midwest. The Mountain Little League from Las Vegas, the Summerlin South Little League there. Braintree, Massachusetts, a bit north of us, represents the New England division. The Northwest division winner is the Bonnie Lake, Washington team from the Bonnie Lake Summer Little League. We told you about Richmond, Texas, taking on Fairfield tonight. The Southeast Little League champion from South Carolina, that region, the IRMO Little League, and the West region winner, Honolulu, Hawaii. Must be rough out there, the Honolulu Little League. And the international division is made up of Taipei, Taiwan, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, Vancouver, BC, a team from Vancouver, Canada. Santa Cruz, Aruba is the Caribbean winner. Tokyo, Japan, the Johto Little League champion in Tokyo, represents Japan. A team from the South Czech Republic in the Little League there, representing Europe and Africa. The Latin American Little League is from Cardenales Little League in Venezuela. The Mexican champion is the Chihuahua region winner, the El Swing Perfecto Little League. Panama sending a team, the Vacamonte Little League champions. And Puerto Rico, the Juan L. Bibloni Little League champion from Yabuca, Puerto Rico. So there you go. So go Fairfield National. Tonight, 7 o'clock ESPN against the Lamar Little League champions out of Richmond, Texas. All righty. Traffic and weather together on your scorecards at WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
North and southbound on the Wilbur Cross Parkway, we've got delays in Hamden and New Haven, north and south into the West Rock Tunnel. That's the road work ongoing through there. We're seeing it slow on the Parkway southbound in Fairfield. And then it's stop and go in Bridgeport on the Connecticut Turnpike, heading through Norwalk and Stamford. Delays northbound in through Greenwich. And it's slow southbound on Route 8 as you head into the Commodore Hole Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
Looking for complete dental care in one convenient location? Visit Columbia Dental in Norwalk. Their expert team includes a general dentist, periodontist, and oral surgeon. So whether you need a routine checkup and cleaning, dental implants, or wisdom teeth extraction, they've got you covered. Quality care all under one roof. Call Columbia Dental in Norwalk today at 203-299-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Discover the finest flooring in Southern Connecticut at Courtesy Carpet. With over 50 years experience, from intricate area rugs and durable vinyl to elegant stair runners, they have it all. Shop anywhere, but see them before you buy. Visit L&J and their team on Route 111 in Monroe or at courtesycarpet.com. Financing is available, so you can get the floors you love today. Trust the experts in quality flooring, because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is their courtesy.
Do you truly understand the impact of taxes on your retirement savings? Would you like to keep more of your hard-earned money? Attend Bridgelight Financial's Taxes in Retirement event, August 12th and 14th at El Palio in Shelton. It's a free workshop discussing real tax saving strategies. Click bridgelightadvisors.com and register.
This is Bill Levitt, president of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. We'll show you real tax savings on your savings.
Come to our next event at El Palio in Shelton. Register today at bridgelightadvisors.com. bridgelightadvisors.com.
Did you know that when you make time to do 3 simple things each day with your children, talking, reading, and singing, you're helping to shape and strengthen their brains for the years to come? I love to look at the pictures in a book and notice little details about the characters. I pause along the way to ask my child to wonder about how they might feel. When you ask open-ended questions like, what do you notice? Or what do you think will happen next? You're inviting them to be curious. All these rich conversations help develop both their vocabularies and their thinking skills. And it's a great way for you and your child to bond and discover the world together. As a father, helping my child is the most important thing to me. Each of us has the power to create a strong start for our children by talking, reading, and singing with them from the moment they're born, and help them to enter school ready to learn and succeed in life. Visit talkingisteaching.org for free tips, resources, and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Friday's meeting between Presidents Trump and Putin is a good chance to gauge Putin's intentions.
The President of the United States getting in the room with the President of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
CBS's Scott MacFarlane is looking into the possibility the Pentagon is planning National Guard deployments in multiple cities.
There's a report in Washington that there was under consideration a quick response force, 2 of them in the country, to quell civil unrest elsewhere in the nation. The Pentagon's pushing back on that, calling it pre-decisional and saying they're not going to comment.
Tropical storm Erin is churning in the Atlantic, and CBS's Nikki Batiste says it may add to the East Coast riptide danger.
This tropical storm that's looming and could come later this week could pose dangers to any beachgoers along this eastern coast. So everyone needs to be cautious, pay attention to the weather.